Chapter 28-29. Although this move wouldn't have any effect on those Sky-class masters who were prepared and had strong willpower, Lin Yi didn't think that these two conditions were met. When Zhao Qikuan and Feng Shiyan were explaining this move to Lin Yi, they were interrupted by Naipeo, and so Naipeo believed that Lin Yi didn't know much about his demon of Hell Fist, and even if Lin Yi had a strong will, he was only an Earth class, he wouldn't be able to wake up from the illusion of the demon of Hell Fist by himself. At that thought, Naipeo didn't use the Thorn arts, but the demon of Hell Fist's arts. He punched out as Lin Yi got closer, yelling, "Demon of Hell Fist!" Boom! At the same time, Lin Yi's fire Bagua palm landed on Demon 8, who was standing not far from Naipeo, completely defenseless. You! Pfft! Demon 8 looked at Lin Yi in disbelief. He didn't think that Lin Yi, who was supposed to be attacking Naipeo, would suddenly change his target to Demon 8. But, when he realized this, it was already too late. He could only watch as Lin Yi's palm landed on his chest, and his sternum caved in. A sharp pain spread from his chest to his entire body, and he moaned in pain as he was sent flying by Lin Yi's strength. He didn't want to die, but there was nothing he could do. He wanted to yell at Lin Yi for being so cunning, but then he remembered that when he first met Lin Yi, in the inn's restaurant, didn't Mo become a cripple like this? However, by the time Mo Ba realized this, it was already too late. He felt the arrival of death, and he already knew that this time, he would definitely die. But, what made him excited was that before he died, he saw Naipeo use his ultimate move on Lin Yi, Demon of Hell Fist. Although he was dead, he was happy that Gunslinger had avenged him. Demon 8 landed heavily on the ground, closed his eyes, and passed away peacefully. A stream of chi shot out from Naipeo's fist, heading straight for Lin Yi's head. Lin Yi was shocked, and suddenly remembered what Feng Shiyan had told him about Naipeo's ultimate move, Demon of Hell Fist. Dongfang Bulu was a Sky-class late-phase peak, and even he was hit by it. Lin Yi was only an Earth-class late-phase. Naturally, he wouldn't be able to handle this move. But, when Lin Yi reacted, it was already too late. Lin Yi was using the Fire Bagua Palm's 8th form to attack Demon 8, and the chi from Naipeo's fist entered Lin Yi at the same time. Suddenly, Lin Yi felt his head go dizzy, and found himself in a strange world. The scenery around Lin Yi changed abruptly, turning into a familiar scene. This was the X-Island where he'd been with his Shifu when he was young. Bro, Daddy's dead. As Lin Yi was spacing out, not knowing why he had suddenly returned to Island X, where he trained when he was a kid, a familiar, crying voice sounded. Lin Yi raised his head to see that it was his teammate, Yang Xiaoxiao, the daughter of his Shifu. What? Shifu's dead? Lin Yi was startled as he looked at Yang Xiaoxiao, surprised. He'd gotten into the role without realizing it, as if he'd gone back to his childhood training on X Island. Yes, Daddy's dead. Little 9 killed Daddy. Yang Xiaoxiao said. What? Little 7, you said Shifu was killed by Little 9? Lin Yi's eyes were wide open as he looked at Yang Xiaoxiao in disbelief. Little 7 was Yang Xiaoxiao's code name in the team. Yes, but I've already killed Little 9 to avenge Daddy. Yang Xiaoxiao said sadly, I really didn't think that Little 9 was this kind of person. What? Little 9 is also dead? Lin Yi suddenly felt that the amount of information in this matter was too much for him to accept. He had a splitting headache. This was because the series of events had already exceeded the scope of what he could bear. Bro, don't believe Sister 7. Shifu was killed by her. I saw it. Sister 7 wanted to kill me. Lin Yi couldn't accept it. Suddenly, he heard Little 9's voice. When he turned his head, he saw Little 9 crawling over with blood all over her body. Her head was actually broken. Only a little bit of skin on her neck was connected. As she crawled, it swayed and looked like it was about to fall off. Even though Lin Yi had a strong psychological endurance, he couldn't help but scream. Her head was broken, but she could still speak. Bro, be careful. Little 9 suddenly said. Lin Yi suddenly felt a sharp pain in his abdomen. When he turned his head, he saw that Yang Xiaoxiao was holding a dagger in her hand, piercing his lower abdomen. Yang Xiaoxiao's mouth had a cruel and proud smile. "Little Seven, you." Lin Yi looked at Little Seven in horror. "Ha ha ha ha, I am not Little Seven, actually. I am Yuning." Yang Xiaoxiao's face suddenly changed and turned into Yuning, a face that Lin Yi was more familiar with. "Little Ning, you." Lin Yi couldn't believe it. How could Yuning kill her own master, kill Little Nine? Why did she pretend to be Little Seven? Just when Lin Yi wanted to ask, Lin Yi suddenly found that the scenery around him had changed again. It turned into a primeval forest in Africa. And Yuning, at the moment, was looking at him affectionately. Lin Yi looked at Yuning again and found that there was no dagger in Yuning's hand, and his lower abdomen was no longer in pain. Lin Yi was puzzled. Yuning suddenly said, "Eagle, today is Valentine's Day, N." Lin Yi responded, he hadn't recovered from the previous shock. "I like you," Yuning said. "But I know that you can't be with me, so what I can't get, no one else can. I want to die with you, so we can be together forever." Ah. Lin Yi was stunned. This was not Yuning's style at all. Lin Yi was wondering if Yuning was insane today. Suddenly, a lion came into the cave, and Yuning was summoning the lion. The lion came over and bit Yuning at the waist. Her upper body went directly into the belly of the lion, leaving only half of her body. She made a strange laugh, "Ha ha 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 ha." Chapter 28:30. Ha 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 ha. Lin Yi raised his head and found that the laughter didn't come from the remaining half of Yuning's body, but, behind the lion, there was another person. It was Go Huli. "Lin Yi, you didn't expect this, right? My lion ate your lover. Isn't this feeling great?" Go Huli said proudly. "Bitch, give me your life." Lin Yi didn't think that all of this was Go Huli's doing. He suddenly punched Go Huli with a frenzy fist. Bang! Go Huli was just an ordinary person. Lin Yi's frenzy fist sent her flying. However, when Go Huli fell to the ground, Lin Yi heard another person's voice. "Lin Yi Gidge, you're so cruel. Jing Jing almost died for you, and you actually want to kill Jing Jing." The Go Huli on the ground suddenly turned into Han Jingjing. This made Lin Yi's heart tighten. "Jingjing, how are you?" Lin Yi quickly ran to Han Jingjing's side and was about to use the art of dragon mastery to heal her injuries. However, the Han Jingjing on the ground suddenly changed. It turned into Tian Chan. "Lin Yi, you pervert. I'm going to kill you." Tian Chan took out a sharp knife and stabbed Lin Yi's chest. Ah. Lin Yi felt like he was going crazy. Why did the people around him change one by one? Why did they all betray him? However, just when Lin Yi was a little shocked, how did Go Huli turn into Tian Chan? The Tian Chan in his arms actually turned into another girl. A girl that looked familiar, but he didn't know. "Lin Yi, you're actually hugging another girl. Don't you want me anymore? If you don't want me, I'll die in front of you." The girl looked at Lin Yi bitterly. The look in her eyes made Lin Yi feel like he had seen it before, but he couldn't be sure. You are?" Lin Yi looked at the girl in front of him strangely and asked, "Who are you?" "Lin Yi, you. Don't you recognize me?" The girl's eyes flashed with disappointment and grievance. Suddenly, she raised her hand slightly, and a snow mist spread from her hand, completely covering Lin Yi. "Before I die, I want you to die. You are from Shuegu." Lin Yi suddenly remembered that the girl in front of him was the girl he fell in love with at first sight in Shuegu. However, he only saw her from afar. They didn't interact. Why did she want to kill him? Lin Yi's mind was a mess, and he couldn't help but scream again, "Aw." Chikuan didn't think that Naipeo would use the dark demon fist all of a sudden, and after Lin Yi got hit, his eyes glazed over. He screamed and hugged his head, squatting on the ground. It was very similar to Dongfang Buliu's situation. "Boss, what's wrong? Wake up." Chikuan jumped in fright and yelled. "Yeah, Brother Lin, wake up." Shipian was panicking as well, reaching out to help Lin Yi up. What he didn't expect was that Lin Yi's frenzy fist hit Shipian's chest. Luckily, Lin Yi was fighting Go Huli, a normal human. Lin Yi only used the first stance of the frenzy fist, and it didn't do much damage to Shipian, but it still made him feel a little suffocated. "Brother Lin, it's me." Feng Shipian jumped in fright and shouted. Although this was only the power of the first or second mystic class skill, Lin Yi was someone who could instantly kill a sky class mid-phase master. Feng Shipian was only at the early phase of sky class. He was afraid that Lin Yi would accidentally kill him in an instant. But Lin Yi didn't pay any attention to him at all. He raised his hand and pushed Feng Shipian to the side. He stood up and cried out in shock again as he ran for the distance. "Boss, come back." Chikuan was panicking. This was what happened to Dongfang Bulo. If it were any other place, Lin Yi would be fine even if he ran like crazy. There was no danger, but this was different. This was 5 malice barons, and there were many spirit beasts. One mistake and they could run into one, and so Chikuan was worried that Lin Yi would follow in Dongfang Bulu's footsteps. But Lin Yi didn't seem to hear him at all, running back and forth in the 5 fiends barons. He didn't go far, just running in circles. Even so, Chikuan and the others were panicking. There weren't any spirit beasts around now, but that didn't mean that there wouldn't be any later. If one were to suddenly appear, Lin Yi would be in danger. Feng Shipian, Li Siba, Gu Xian, and Chikuan were all focused on Lin Yi, while Naipeo, on the other hand, put an energy pill in his mouth to recover his qi. Of course, the energy pill was one of the long-lost elixirs, and it was extremely precious. He wouldn't use it unless he had no other choice, but he didn't have Protector Mo Ba with him right now. He didn't dare be careless, afraid that Feng Shipian and the others would come after him. That was why he took the pill. "Zhang Naipeo, what did you do to Boss Lin Yi?" Chikuan was panicking. Lin Yi had been very nice to him, bringing him to the test and giving him the map to the safe place. He was very grateful for all of this, and now that Naipeo had done this to Lin Yi, he was, of course, worried. "It's nothing, he just entered the illusion. If you want to know what happened to him, I can let you try." Naipeo said faintly. In actuality, the qi he had recovered wasn't even enough for him to use the Dark Demon Fist once, but he could use the Thorn Arts practitioner's arts. Naipeo wasn't worried at all as he tried to scare Chikuan. Chikuan's face froze, but he didn't dare say anything else. His face was filled with rage, but he didn't dare say anything. "Illusion? I remember now." Feng Shipian suddenly slapped his head and said, "I know what's going on with the Dark Demon Hell Fist." "Oh? What is it?" Li Siba, Gu Xian, and Chikuan asked at the same time. Naipeo looked at Feng Shipian, surprised as well. He didn't expect him to know about the Dark Demon Fist. Chapter 28-31. Then. Is there a way to solve it? Chikuan waved his hand. "Right now, we're not in a rush to find out what's going on with this art. We don't have time to think about it, we just want a solution." "No." Shipian shook his head. "There's no way to break these ancient arts. We can only defend against them, but we can't break them." "Then what do we do?" Chikuan asked, shocked. "What if a spirit beast comes? Wouldn't Boss be in danger?" "Yes, so I'm going to tell you guys the details of this art. There's strength in numbers, so let's all think about it and see if there's a solution." Shipian said. "Then why didn't you say so earlier?" Chikuan said, panicking. "I was about to say it, but you interrupted me." Feng Shipian smiled bitterly. This is actually a skill that can affect a person's mind. Zhang Naipeo used a special method to push his qi into Brother Lin's head, putting him in a state of madness. His soul, we practitioners call it the Yuan Shen, and once the Yuan Shen is sucked into an illusion, he'll lose himself. In his mind, some of the beautiful memories will reappear, but the memories will change. For example, if the few of us successfully pass the trial of the Heavenly Elixir sect, this should be a very good memory for the few of us, right? But in the illusion, the memories will change, and we might be killed, or killed each other, or eaten by spirit beasts. Either way, the memories will change, and it'll feel like we're in the same place. It'll drive us crazy. Ah. That weird? Siba said, shocked. So it really is a demonic sect, to have such an evil move. This is also why this art is called the Hell's Demon Fists. Those who get hit by it will feel like they're in hell, and they won't be able to get out of it. Shipian nodded. Then, can we capture boss and force him to wake him up? Chikuan asked. No. As far as I know, people who get hit by the Hell's Demon Fists, there's only a very small chance of awakening them, and most of them don't work. The worst case scenario is that their soul leaves their body and they die. Shipian shook his head. In theory, we can only wait for Brother Lin's soul to wake up and destroy the illusion. Outsiders like us have no way of dealing with the heart's demon. Unless we're Sky Class Late Phase Peak, and we know how to use our soul to communicate with Brother Lin, it's pretty much impossible to wake him up normally. This won't work, that won't work. What do we do? Chikuan was panicking, but there was nothing he could do. Not bad. You're quite knowledgeable. You've actually guessed most of my ultimate technique correctly. Naipeo suddenly clapped his hands, praising, you're right, even I can't wake him up. Actually, if it was possible, I really didn't want him to die. I want to leave his life for Liang Bro. In actuality, there was one thing Naipeo didn't say. Lin Yi being alive would be a motivation for him to train hard. If Lin Yi was dead, he didn't know if this motivation would still exist. The chrysanthemum arts required hatred in order to train, and the more hatred there was, the faster the training would go. Otherwise, the training wouldn't be as smooth as before. Chikuan glared at Naipeo. He didn't believe him, thinking that he was just being sarcastic. If he didn't want Lin Yi to die, why would he use this move? Just when everyone was at a loss, an Earth-class spirit beast walked over from afar, heading in the direction Lin Yi was going. This shocked everyone, even Naipeo. He thought that Lin Yi was dead for sure. Don't underestimate it just because it was an Earth-class early-phase spirit beast, but it was the most difficult spirit beast to deal with, the giant ape. This type of spirit beast looked like a human, and could practice martial arts as well. It was extremely agile, and even a Sky-class practitioner wouldn't be able to protect himself if he met it, let alone a Earth-class late-phase master who had lost his mind. Boss, watch out! Chikuan yelled at Lin Yi, but it didn't have any effect. Lin Yi didn't seem to hear him at all. He was still running towards the ape. The two were like two cars in a math problem. Chikuan grumbled to himself as he calculated how long it would take for Lin Yi to meet the ape. This might be the last of Lin Yi's life in this world. The scene of Dongfang Butang getting killed by the beast's tail was still fresh in his mind. Generally speaking, if a human cultivator approached a spirit beast, it would be seen as malicious, and the spirit beast would take the initiative to attack. This was especially true in the savage land of Five Evils, which was originally the territory of the spirit beasts. With so many cultivators suddenly entering, the spirit beasts would be very hostile towards these cultivators. The distance between Lin Yi and the ape was getting closer and closer, and the ape seemed to have noticed Lin Yi running towards it. It stopped abruptly and looked at Lin Yi, scratching its head with its forearm in confusion before shaking its head and continuing to walk forward. This weird movement of the ape confused everyone, but no one thought that it would attack Lin Yi. As long as it saw Lin Yi, there was no reason for it to let Lin Yi go. 30 meters, 20 meters, 10 meters, 5 meters, 1 meter. Chikuan was so scared that he closed his eyes. Feng Shipian, Li Siba, and Gu Xian were holding their breaths as well, not daring to look at Lin Yi. Naipeo, on the other hand, shook his head. Lin Yi, you can only blame your bad luck for not being as skillful as others. If you die, then so be it. But now, there was one person. No, it was a spirit beast, who wasn't worried about Lin Yi at all. He wasn't worried that the ape would attack Lin Yi, but that Lin Yi wouldn't be able to recover from this crazed state. Just when everyone thought that the ape would attack, Lin Yi and the ape brushed past each other. The ape looked at Lin Yi a few more times, but didn't attack Lin Yi. He continued on his way, not looking at Lin Yi anymore. Chapter 28:32. GG. The pig quickly shook his head. Huff, huff, the eight-legged lizard said. GG. The pig begged. Hoo-hoo. The lizard wasn't the type of spirit beast that liked to kill its own kind, and so it didn't want to attack the pig. GG. The pig shook his head firmly. Hoo-hoo. The lizard raged. It was ready to send the pig flying, and then kill Lin Yi. GG. The pig panicked. Huff, huff, the lizard reached out its front claw and slapped the skybolt pig away. G. G. The pig cried out in pain as he was sent flying. It wasn't a fatal injury, but it wasn't a light one. He landed heavily on the ground, and couldn't get up anymore. Humph, you overestimate yourself. Naipeo didn't know what the pig and the lizard were talking about, but it was obvious that the pig was trying to stop the lizard from attacking Lin Yi. The reason why Naipeo said that was because he could see that Skybolt Pig was a mystic late-phase peak, and the difference between him and the lizard was like heaven and earth. Because of the difference in level, there was no way Skybolt Pig could stop the lizard. Feng Shipian, Li Siba, Guxian, and Chikuan, on the other hand, were confused and annoyed. Logically speaking, Lin Yi shouldn't have been attacked by a spirit beast, so why was his contracted spirit beast messing around? It seemed like the lizard was pissed off, and it was heavily injured. Little pig, come back, brother Lin will be fine. These spirit beasts seemed to be very friendly to him. Feng Shipian called out to the pig. The pig rolled his eyes, speechless. Feng Shipian and the others didn't know the truth, and he couldn't explain it to them. Besides, it was impossible for him to get up even if he wanted to. He was heavily injured, and he couldn't get up at all. Seeing the lizard crawl towards Lin Yi, as if it was going to kill Lin Yi, Chikuan and the others were panicking, but there was nothing they could do. They were a team of 2 Sky Class, 1 Earth Class, and 1 Mystic Class, 2 Sky Class, and 1 Mystic Class. This was a strong team in the world of practitioners, but against a spirit beast, there was no way they could fight back. Spirit beasts had a huge advantage over human practitioners due to their natural advantages. This time, from their point of view, Lin Yi was really done for. Lin Yi's soul was in an unrealistic environment, and it was causing Lin Yi's mind to be unsettled, and he was going berserk. Lin Yi's body was going berserk in reality, and Lin Yi's soul was going berserk in the jade as well, but Lin Yi didn't know it. What's wrong? Jiao Lao was a bit worried, but calling out to Lin Yi was useless. 1. Jiao Yazi didn't have much strength, and 2. He was just an illusory body with a sliver of soul inside. He didn't have the power to wake Lin Yi up. Jiao Lao called out again, but Lin Yi was still running around in the jade space, causing the chi in the jade space to shake along with Lin Yi. What's going on? What are you doing? I want to train in peace, and I can't even stop. Isn't it just borrowing your territory? You don't have to go through all this trouble, do you? Do you really think that you can call the shots in your territory? An abrupt voice suddenly sounded in the jade space. What surprised Jiao Yazi was that the owner of the voice was the ghost that occupied a corner and slept as soon as he entered the jade space. He saw the ghost get up from the corner, and he couldn't see its shape clearly, but he was sure that Lin Yi's berserk state woke it up. But it was no wonder that Lin Yi didn't suppress his strength at all. He was running around in the space of the jade pendant, activating all the pure energy in his body. The pure energy in the space of the jade pendant was running around with Lin Yi. That damn thing couldn't train in peace here, you're up. Jiao Yazi was stunned, he didn't expect this ghost to wake up at this time, and he didn't know if it was a friend or foe, or if it would cause trouble. This place is in chaos because of this little guy, how can I not get up? I can't stop even if I want to. Huh. After the ghost complained, it suddenly looked at Lin Yi, who was running crazily in the jade space. What's wrong with him? Seems like he's possessed. That's right. Do you have a way? Zhao Yazi was stunned for a moment, and he quickly asked. He didn't expect this ghost to see the problem. Has his cultivation gone astray? The ghost said lazily, forget it, I don't care what's wrong with you, since I'm training in your territory, and you're disturbing me, I'll help you. You can help him? Zhao Yazi was happy and quickly asked. Of course I can. I'm different from you. You're just a wisp of primordial spirit. Although your body should be very strong, you're not as strong as me right now. That thing said proudly, watch me. You really have a lot of nonsense, Zhao Yazi said coldly, if you can do it, hurry up. Kid. Wake up, don't run. The ghost suddenly roared, causing the chi in the jade space to tremble, and Zhao Yazi also looked at the ghost in surprise. That loud roar might seem no different from a normal person speaking loudly, but in truth, there was something special about that loud roar. It could make people who had been possessed by chi deviation and were delirious snap out of the demons in their hearts. The loud roar contained an energy that could clear people's minds, and it had a similar effect as Shaolin Lion's roar. Chapter 28:33. Then, he recalled what happened before. Although Lin Yi was in a berserk state and didn't know what happened at that time, when Lin Yi woke up, he clearly heard the conversation between Zhao Yazi and the ghostly thing. Thinking that it was the ghostly thing that woke him up and brought him back to reality from the nightmare, Lin Yi's eyes flashed with a touch of gratitude. Originally, he was very unhappy with the ghostly thing's behavior of occupying the magpie's nest without a greeting, but he couldn't do anything about it. He couldn't wake it up or chase it away, so Lin Yi could only let it do as it pleased. However, he still felt conflicted in his heart. At this time, Lin Yi realized that it was a wise thing to keep this ghostly thing in the space of the jade pendant. Without its existence, he was afraid that he would soon become the eight-legged lizard's prey. Thank you very much. Lin Yi cupped his fist at the ghostly thing. I can't thank you enough for your kindness. You can continue to cultivate here. Huh, young man, that's a good thing. However, it's not right for me to not do something for you since I'm staying here. You don't have to thank me, we're just using each other. The ghostly thing said. Me? Are you a human or a ghost? Lin Yi was stunned. You don't have to worry about this. With your current strength, it doesn't matter if you know or not. You should just take care of the things in front of you. The ghostly thing reminded him and shook its head. Sigh, I'm awake, but it's not good for me to sleep again. It's really troublesome. Lin Yi was speechless, but the ghostly thing was right. He really had something to do here. Although the eight-legged lizard crawled slowly, it was about to reach him. Lin Yi clearly saw what happened between Skybolt Pig and the eight-legged lizard outside the Five Evils wildlands. Lin Yi was very grateful for Skybolt Pig's bravery. He didn't know what it said to the lizard, but it was obvious that the conversation failed. Skybolt Pig was beaten up by the lizard, and although he didn't die, Lin Yi's feelings for Skybolt Pig deepened a lot. Lin Yi returned to reality and quickly ran over, picked up Skybolt Pig, and ran towards the direction of safety. Seeing Lin Yi wake up all of a sudden, picking up the pig and running, everyone froze. They were both surprised and happy, but Naipeo's eyes were filled with amazement. He didn't understand how Lin Yi had woken up all of a sudden. Logically, this shouldn't be possible. Although, there were some strong-willed people who could wake up on their own, but those were all sky classes, earth classes, and sky class practitioners were very rare. Lin Yi was an earth class late phase, how could he wake up on his own? Piggy, thank you. Lin Yi said gratefully to Skybolt Pig. Skybolt Pig was a bit surprised. He didn't think that Lin Yi would wake up from the illusion so quickly. It was worth the time he had wasted. He called out excitedly, "Oink oink, Skybolt Pig, but I'll heal you later. There's still a problem in front of us." Lin Yi quickly ran towards safety, but Naipeo's problem wasn't solved yet. There was something in the jade space that could wake him up, but if Feng Shipian, Li Siba, Gu Xian, Zhao Qikuan, and the others were affected, then it'd be troublesome. Oink oink. Skybolt Pig nodded. He wouldn't die anytime soon, and he didn't need to rush to heal himself. The lizard saw Lin Yi run away with Skybolt Pig to safety, and hesitated. It didn't chase after Lin Yi. Its walking speed was already slow, and if it were to chase after Lin Yi, it'd be fine. But Lin Yi might be able to hide in a safe place before it could catch up. "Lin Yi, you're fine." Naipeo looked at Lin Yi confused. He didn't expect Lin Yi to wake up on his own. "I'm fine, are you disappointed?" Lin Yi looked at Naipeo faintly, a strange light in his eyes. "Lin Yi, you may have woken up this time, but I don't believe that you'll be this lucky every time. Even a sky class has a chance of waking up by themselves. You can't avoid it every time." Naipeo said. "Huh, is that so? Then can you dodge it?" Lin Yi asked back. "Me? What do you mean?" Naipeo paused. "Nothing much," Lin Yi said, but he was trying his best to recall the method Naipeo used to activate the Hell's Demon's Fist. Lin Yi had an all-rounder skill, and he could modify and fuse his own skills. So, ever since Lin Yi woke up, he'd been trying to remember and imitate the activation method of Naipeo's Dark Demon Fist. Naipeo's Thorn Arts was a passive skill, and he didn't need to activate it himself. So, Lin Yi couldn't imitate it even if he wanted to. Without the incantation, he wouldn't be able to use it at all. The Hell's Demon Fist, however, was different. Lin Yi had already seen through Naipeo's gestures and activation method, and he was pretty close to it in his mind. He just didn't know if he'd be able to activate it on the first try. "Lin Yi, since you're fine, then let's call it a draw. We can't do anything to each other, so let's call it a draw. We'll fight again next time." Naipeo could still use the Dark Demon Fist one more time, but if Lin Yi woke up this time, then killing him would be a piece of cake. And so, Naipeo hesitated a little, not daring to use the Dark Demon Fist again. Using the Thorn Arts to fight Lin Yi head-on wouldn't be able to outlast Lin Yi, and so he decided to retreat. "What? Scared?" Lin Yi said faintly. "Where's your strength from before?" "Lin Yi, don't think that I'm scared of you. If it weren't for leaving you for Liang Bro, I wouldn't let you go so easily." Naipeo humphed coldly. "Is that so? Do you think that you can fight whenever you want? Is this savage land of 5 evils your home?" Lin Yi knew that Naipeo was putting on a brave front, but Lin Yi wasn't planning on letting him go so easily. If it weren't for the thing in the jade that pulled him back to reality, Lin Yi would have been killed by that lizard already. "Lin Yi, don't be so shameless. I don't believe that you'll be able to wake up this time." Naipeo's face twisted as he started channeling the incantation, ready to use the Dark Demon Fist again. Chapter 28-34. Qikuan opened his eyes as well. He was surprised to see that Lin Yi was fine. "Boss, you're all right?" Naipeo was in disbelief as well. Why didn't the ape attack Lin Yi? It was understandable if it didn't see Lin Yi, but it did see Lin Yi, and it wasn't like it couldn't beat Lin Yi, but it didn't do anything. How strange. Could it be that the ape had just killed someone, and didn't have any energy left? Li Siba just couldn't figure it out. He shook his head and said, "That doesn't make sense. This ape looks quite energetic. Perhaps the giant ape's personality was better, allowing Brother Lin to escape." Gu Xian analyzed. "That's probably the case." Feng Shipian nodded as well, feeling lucky. "But, as the saying goes, you can hide the first time, but you can't hide forever." Just when everyone was letting out a breath of relief, a black tiger sprinted towards them. It wasn't heading towards Lin Yi, but it was still within the tiger's line of sight. This black tiger had a violent temperament, and when it saw a human practitioner, there was no hope of survival. It even fed on some low-level spirit beasts, unlike most spirit beasts, who use training as a substitute for food. Some of the low-ranked spirit beasts here would hide far away when they saw the ferocious black tiger spirit beast, lest they were beaten to a pulp. And so, this black tiger was only mystic early phase, but in everyone's eyes, it was even scarier than the ape from before. Lin Yi was in its line of sight, and there was no way Lin Yi could escape this. How could I be so unlucky? Chikuan sighed. He thought that Lin Yi would be able to avoid this, but he didn't expect it to happen so soon. Feng Shipian, Li Siba, and Gu Xian all took in a cold breath. It was indeed unlucky. He'd just escaped the wolf pack and entered the tiger's mouth, and it was much more dangerous than before. Skybolt Pig looked at the tiger faintly, but didn't move. Logically speaking, his strength as a mystic late-phase peak should have been enough to suppress the tiger, but he didn't do that. He just sat there, thinking about how to get Lin Yi out of this situation. But Feng Shipian, Li Siba, Gu Xian, and Chikuan had all forgotten about Skybolt Pig. They didn't think about the level suppression from the spirit beasts either. As far as they were concerned, Lin Yi wasn't going to make it, but what they didn't expect was that a miracle happened once more. The tiger saw Lin Yi, but it didn't attack Lin Yi at all. It just looked at him for a while before it sped away, not intending to get close to Lin Yi. Ah. This time, even Zhang Naipeo's mouth was wide open in shock. If the first time was luck, then how could the second time still be luck? Especially against this ferocious tiger, there was no way he could survive. But who would have thought that the tiger didn't attack Lin Yi at all? It didn't make sense. In fact, what they didn't know was that Lin Yi had the fragrance bag that Tian Chan gave him, so in the ape's eyes, Lin Yi was a spirit beast. The ape's intelligence was quite high, on par with Skybolt Pig's, and so it looked at Lin Yi a few times, thinking that Lin Yi was a spirit beast, but at the same time, he wasn't one. It hadn't seen his face before, but he did look like a practitioner. But, while the ape wasn't weak, it wasn't violent. As far as it was concerned, it thought that Lin Yi was a spirit beast as well, so naturally, it wouldn't attack. It was confused, but it still left. The other practitioners were far away, and there was no need for it to attack them. The black tiger, on the other hand, was extremely ferocious, but it was only a mystic early phase, and in its eyes, Lin Yi was just an Earth-class late-phase spirit beast. According to the level suppression of spirit beasts, it could only bully golden-class spirit beasts, and whether or not Lin Yi looked like a spirit beast, it didn't dare look at him for long. This was also why Skybolt Pig didn't make a move. He knew about the fragrance bag that Tian Chan gave to Lin Yi, and he was a spirit beast as well. He had personally felt the magic of the fragrance bag, and so he wasn't worried that Lin Yi would be attacked by spirit beasts. Lin Yi successfully dodged the first two spirit beasts, but not long after, a Sky-class 8-legged lizard slowly passed by. This lizard had the strength of Sky-class mid-phase, and while it crawled very slowly, its strength was not to be underestimated. One look and you could tell that it wasn't easy to mess with it. Its eyes were red as it stared at Lin Yi, who was running around not too far away. I hope boss can survive this, but it should be fine, right? Chikuan wasn't too worried this time. Yeah, Brother Lin may be in a crazed state, but the spirit beasts seem to be very friendly to him. There must be some secret. Feng Shipian said as well. That's true. Gu Xian nodded as well. I heard that there's a secret art that allows a human practitioner to disguise as a spirit beast. I don't know if it's true or not, but it seems like Brother Lin has this secret art. These people weren't panicking this time, but Skybolt Pig was scared out of his wits. Other people didn't know, but he knew that Sky-class spirit beasts weren't stupid. Lin Yi's fragrance bag could be hidden from spirit beasts below Sky-class, but it wouldn't work on spirit beasts above Sky-class. From the eyes of the 8-legged lizard, one could see that it was pissed off at Lin Yi, and was ready to kill Lin Yi. However, even though the Skybolt pig realized that something was wrong, it did not know what to do. Given its strength, it could not stop the eight-legged lizard at all, but even if it could not, the Skybolt pig could only bite the bullet and negotiate with it. The eight-legged lizard was slowly crawling towards Lin Yi, ready to kill this human practitioner who was provoking it. GG. Skybolt pig quickly ran over to the eight-legged lizard. Chapter 28:35. Hellfire Fist. Lin Yi yelled. The reason why he said so much was because he was simulating the Hellfire Fist in his mind, and now he could use it. Wah! Naipeo was in the middle of channeling his practitioner's arts when he heard Lin Yi say something so familiar. He paused and raised his head to look at Lin Yi, only to see Lin Yi's fist coming at him. Naipeo quickly changed his practitioner's arts and started channeling his thorn arts. He didn't know what Lin Yi's Hellfire Fist was, but he had his own arts to protect himself. Naturally, he wasn't afraid. Boom! Lin Yi copied Naipeo's style and channeled the Hellfire Fist chi into his fist, shooting it straight into Naipeo's head. In order to make this move more effective, Lin Yi channeled the ninth form of the Hellfire Fist, and so Lin Yi's Hellfire Fist was equivalent to the ninth form of the Hellfire Fist. But even so, Naipeo's thorns still managed to reflect 240% of the Hellfire Fist back, and only 20% of it landed on Lin Yi's body. Of course, that 240% didn't affect Lin Yi at all, it was all absorbed by the golden cicada underwear. But, what Lin Yi didn't expect was that this Hellfire Fist would use up so much chi, almost as much as the Fire 8 trigram palm. Lin Yi channeled the ninth form of the Hellfire Fist, and although it was successful, all of the chi in Lin Yi's body seemed to be released from his body along with Lin Yi's technique, shooting towards Naipeo's head. Lin Yi's chi seemed to have been sucked dry, and Lin Yi didn't have time to think before falling to the ground. Ah! Naipeo held his head, a flash of shock in his eyes before turning into a red haze. He took off running towards the direction of the Five Fiends Barons. Naipeo didn't think that he'd be able to use the Hell's Demon's Fist, or rather, the Hellfire Fist. It didn't look like it, but the effect was more or less the same. Naipeo felt as if he'd fallen into a sea of fire, and an endless amount of fire appeared behind him, scaring him into a run, afraid that the fire would burn him. Lin Yi's Hellfire Fist didn't have the same effect as Naipeo's, but it could create a sea of fire that was incredibly realistic, making it hard for people to tell the difference between real and fake. It was an illusion that they couldn't pull themselves out of. And so, while Naipeo didn't have any painful memories or hallucinations, he did have the feeling that he was in hell, as if he was being tormented by a sea of fire in hell. The pain was even more intense. Think about it, anyone who had a sea of fire behind them wouldn't feel good, and they'd have to keep running. Naipeo felt like that right now, as if he would be swallowed by the sea of fire if he stopped even for a second. So, in order to survive, he had to keep running. In the blink of an eye, Naipeo was gone, and Lin Yi was sitting on the ground, recovering a bit of his chi. He was ready to have Feng Shipian and Li Siba work together to kill Naipeo, but Naipeo was already far away. Lin Yi didn't have any chi left, and naturally, he couldn't chase after Naipeo himself. But this place was full of danger, and Lin Yi didn't want Feng Shipian and Li Siba to take the risk. If Naipeo didn't catch up and ran into a spirit beast, it wouldn't be worth it. Plus, Naipeo wasn't slow, and whether or not they could catch up was another matter. So, Lin Yi only felt a little regretful before letting it go. He'd let Naipeo die on his own. With his crazed state, even if he didn't get killed by the spirit beast, he wouldn't be able to leave this place. Lin Yi didn't believe that someone who didn't know how to heal would be able to find a portal to leave this place. If Naipeo didn't wake up by the end of the test, then he'd have to live here forever. "Boss, how are you? Are you okay?" Chikuan asked as he saw Lin Yi sitting on the ground. "It's fine, I just used up all the pure chi in my body, it's nothing serious." Lin Yi waved his hand and said, "I'll heal Skybolt Pig first, we'll talk when we get back to safety." Alright, Chikuan quickly walked over and held Lin Yi. Feng Shipian, Li Siba, and Gu Xian were all looking at Lin Yi with admiration. They didn't think that things would turn out this way. The powerful Zhang Naipeo had been defeated by Lin Yi. It was supposed to be Lin Yi's crazed state, but now, it was Zhang Naipeo. Before, the three of them weren't as strong as Lin Yi, so they didn't call Lin Yi boss like Chikuan did. They only called Lin Yi their captain, but now, they were leaning towards building a good relationship with Lin Yi. Boss, what do we do with Demon 8's body? Li Siba worshipped Lin Yi the most. His sect mate had been injured by Naipeo, and now that Naipeo was being driven insane by Lin Yi, he was the happiest. He'd gotten his revenge. Especially now that Naipeo's 2 followers were gone, he made up his mind that he'd report this to his master when he got back to the sect and reevaluate his relationship with Lin Yi. But no matter what the sect decided, he'd decided that Lin Yi was his boss. Calling him boss was something that came out of their mouths, and only then did Li Siba realize that his sky class strength was nothing at all. Was Naipeo a sky class? Were Demon 8 and Demon 9 sky class? Dongfang Bulu was a sky class late phase peak, and even he was killed by Naipeo. On the other hand, it was Lin Yi, an earth class late phase, who killed Naipeo's group. You really couldn't judge strength by level. That's right, boss, what do we do with the 2 dogs from the Dark Palace? Gu Xian asked, not backing down. Boss, the 2 of them want to run, I'll go capture them. Feng Shipian saw the 2 disciples of the Dark Palace trying to sneak away, and quickly volunteered to help. All of a sudden, the 3 all called Lin Yi boss, and Chikuan quickly said, hey, you guys may be from the ancient class, but you've joined boss faction later, so you have to call me Bro Zhao or Bro Chiton. Chapter 28:36. That's good. Lin Yi said, you guys can put Demon 8's body at the entrance of the safety. If a strong practitioner tries to do anything, just tell him that I killed Zhang Naipeo, and if he tries to cause trouble, he'll end up the same as Demon 8. Of course, don't say that unless it's absolutely necessary, just in case they get desperate. We understand, boss, don't worry, we know what we're doing, Feng Shipian said quickly. If I'm not back by the end of the test, then you guys go to the portal yourself. I have a way to deal with the 5 malice chi, but you guys can't, Lin Yi said after some thought. That. All right. Chikuan hesitated, but still nodded. All they could do was listen to Lin Yi, and not cause him any trouble. If the 5 malice chi invaded their bodies, it'd be even more troublesome. Lin Yi nodded and didn't say anything more. He picked up the pig and strode out of the safety. There were some spirit beasts passing by, but as long as they weren't sky-class spirit beasts, there wouldn't be a problem. In fact, heaven-rank spirit beasts were the same as heaven-rank human cultivators. They were very rare. The total number of heaven-rank human cultivators didn't exceed 2 digits. Even if those newly advanced heaven-rank cultivators were added, there would only be a little over 100 of them. They were like phoenix feathers and water chestnuts. It was the same for spirit beasts as well. In the vast 5 malice wilderness, there wouldn't be more than 2 digits of sky-class spirit beasts, even fewer than human sky-class practitioners. After all, it was much harder for spirit beasts to level up than human practitioners. And so, Lin Yi wasn't too worried, and quickly ran towards the direction of 5 Malice Mountains. After a day and a night of rushing, Lin Yi once again arrived at the foot of the 5 Fiends mountain range. On the way, Lin Yi only saw 1 heaven-rank spirit beast, which Lin Yi promptly dodged. The other heaven-rank spirit beasts completely ignored Lin Yi's existence. Of course, Lin Yi also discovered that these spiritual beasts had become more violent than when he first entered the 5 evil savage lands. Along the way, Lin Yi often saw cultivators' corpses. It was a ghastly sight, and there were at least 3 or 4 of them. They must have been killed by spirit beasts. Before this, it was not easy for Lin Yi to see the corpses of cultivators. He did not expect that not long after, the scene would change. However, There were no spirit beasts or cultivators' corpses near the Five Fiends mountain range. Looking at the undulating Five Fiends mountain range, Lin Yi felt a little emotional. The scene of him parting with Tian Chan was still vivid in his mind, as if it was just a moment ago. But now, he was the only one left here. Lin Yi also did not know why he could not forget about Tian Chan, so much so that she would appear in the illusion previously. Could it be that he had fallen in love with her? However, what made Lin Yi feel the most strange was that the young lady whom he had only met a few times in the snowy valley, why would she appear in the illusion previously? Moreover, in the environment, her appearance was so clear. When he was in the snowy valley, Lin Yi did not see her appearance clearly, he only saw a hazy outline. In theory, there was no image of her in his own memory, but in the environment, could it be that he had imagined her? It was a pure, sunny beauty, but it was so vivid and lifelike, without the coldness she had in the snowy valley. Lin Yi was a little confused, but because of the illusion effect from Naipeo's dark demon fist, Lin Yi didn't think too much about it. Right now, his priority was to find Yang Qiqi. Lin Yi walked towards the top of the Five Fiends mountain range. He didn't know if Yang Qiqi was here for the Five Fiends dragon, but according to Skybolt Pig's findings, the rest of the treasures were all in the Five Fiends dragon's cave. And so, Lin Yi didn't go anywhere else, he went straight to the cave. This was the second time he went to the Five Fiends dragon's cave, and Lin Yi was familiar with the way. He didn't even need Skybolt Pig to lead the way, and he arrived at the entrance of the cave without a hitch. The Five Fiends dragon was lying in the cave, doing who knew what when it heard a noise outside. It got up immediately and looked outside, surprised and confused when it saw Lin Yi. Evidently, the Five Fiends dragon recognized Lin Yi. It had thrown Lin Yi and Tian Chan off the cliff earlier, and now that Lin Yi was back, it was confused. First of all, a practitioner of Lin Yi's strength would be gravely injured, even if he didn't die from falling off a cliff. Not to mention climbing back up from the bottom, it would be hard for him to even recover from his injuries. Second of all, the Five Fiends dragon knew just how hard the cliff was. Human practitioners couldn't climb up from the bottom, and so when it saw Lin Yi, it thought that it was Lin Yi's twin brother. However, when it saw the Skybolt Pig next to Lin Yi, the Five Fiends dragon confirmed that Lin Yi was the same Lin Yi from before. However, it was even more puzzled. So, the Five Fiends dragon didn't rush to attack Lin Yi. Instead, it asked, "Little fella, how did you get up here?" You can talk. Lin Yi didn't expect the Five Fiends dragon to speak the human language. However, when he thought about it, the great fire lion and the heaven spider he met in the Wulonghout mountain range could speak the human language. As the king of the Five Fiends wilderness, it wasn't strange for the Five Fiends dragon to speak the human language. Of course I can. The Five Fiends dragon was a little dissatisfied with Lin Yi's question. Little fella, you still haven't answered my question. Of course I climbed up. How else do you think I got up here? Lin Yi shrugged his shoulders and said, "If you can talk, why didn't you say anything earlier? Also, why did you throw me down? You are in cahoots with the little girl from before, so I naturally had to throw you down." The Five Fiends dragon said matter-of-factly. "However, since you came up here, I'll let you go. I won't throw you down again. Go. Don't let me see you again." Then why did you throw her down? Lin Yi's heart skipped a beat. You are in cahoots with her? Why? The Five Fiends dragon was stunned. I'm not in cahoots with her. I just happened to meet her here. Lin Yi shook his head. Chapter 28:37. Is the spirit herb that was stolen from you on Demon 8? Meng Qi asked. Take them all back. Lin Yi pointed at Monster 8's body. Boss, those elixirs are all in Naipeo's backpack, not with Demon 8, but there's some Xiaohuan pills on him. Li Siba searched Monster 8's body and found a few pills. He was about to give them to Lin Yi. Oh, the pills, you guys can split them. Lin Yi waved his hand, indicating that he didn't need them. Remembering that Naipeo had taken the herbs, Lin Yi was a little depressed. I should have just taken his herbs first. It's fine, boss, we're happy enough with this result. Even if we didn't pass the test, it's fine. Li Siba didn't mind. Also, you killed this monster 8, boss, so naturally the pills are yours. How could we take them? I don't need them. I'm a refiner too, Lin Yi smiled, not saying much else. Siba, since boss says so, then let's split them. Chikuan knew Lin Yi's personality, and he was a man of his word. Alright, thank you, boss. Li Siba took a look at the number of minor rejuvenation pills. There were still 5 left. Brother Zhao, you've been with the boss for a long time, so you're our elder brother as well. You can take 2 of these pills, the rest of us can take 1 each. Alright, Chikuan didn't reject and nodded. The 2 disciples from the Dark Palace were ready to run, but they were afraid of encountering spirit beasts, so they hesitated. They were hesitating at the entrance of the safe place when Feng Shipian saw them. He stopped them. You two, where do you think you're going? Ugh. Young Master Feng, we've rested enough here, we're leaving. Disciple A stuttered. Oh. Leaving just like that? You're not going to say anything? Feng Shipian looked at them with a smile that was not a smile. Thinking back to when he first came here, he was intimidated by the 2 of them. Feng Shipian felt the thrill of revenge. Young Master Feng, it was Zhang Naipeo who took your herbs, it had nothing to do with us. We were just trying to protect ourselves, sorry. Dark Palace Disciple B quickly said. Is that so? Then what about the trials elixirs on you? Didn't you take them from us? Feng Shipian said faintly. Disciple A's face froze, but there was nothing he could do. He took out the herbs and gave them to Feng Shipian. Then we'll give them back to you. Can we leave now? Wait, we'll ask the boss. Feng Shipian didn't let him go right away. Instead, he looked at Lin Yi, who was walking over. Let them go, there's no point in keeping them. Lin Yi waved his hand. What are you waiting for? Feng Shipian scolded the Dark Palace disciples. Yes. Thank you very much. The 2 disciples of the Dark Palace left without looking back. Lin Yi hugged the pig and started channeling the 2nd stage of the art of dragon mastery. He quickly healed the pig's wounds. Lin Yi was very worried about Chi-Chi's situation. She went to 5 Fiends Mountain alone. He didn't know what she was looking for. Other than the 5 Fiends dragon, Lin Yi really didn't know what else was there. If she was looking for the 5 Fiends dragon, she wouldn't be a match for the 5 Fiends dragon. Of course, Chi-Chi was always biting the hand that fed her. But Lin Yi saw that she was from the same sect as him, and that she might be looking for the 9th princess herb. Lin Yi had to save her no matter what. And so, Lin Yi didn't have time to care about the lives of the 2 disciples. They were just 2 lackeys, after all. If they left, then so be it. Lin Yi couldn't be bothered with people like that. After quickly healing the pig, Lin Yi recovered quite a bit of chi as well. It wasn't a full recovery, but Lin Yi really didn't want to waste any more time. The sooner he left, the sooner Chi-Chi would be safe. Who knew how Chi-Chi was right now? Boss, you're done. Feng Shipian, Li Siba, Gu Xian, and Chikuan had been protecting Lin Yi as he healed. Chikuan asked quickly when he saw Lin Yi open his eyes. I'm good, did someone come? Lin Yi asked. Yes, 2 practitioners came here to seek refuge, but Feng Shipian chased them away, Chikuan said. They were killed by a spirit beast as soon as they left. Lin Yi nodded. It seemed a bit cruel, but that was how the world of practitioners worked. The strong preyed on the weak, and there was no reason at all. Feng Shipian was afraid that the 2 would disturb Lin Yi's healing, so it made sense for him to chase them away forcefully. Not taking their herbs was already very kind of him. Although Lin Yi was in the jade space, he had a general idea of what was going on outside. The two didn't have good intentions when they first came in, but after Feng Shipian and Li Siba revealed their sky-class strength, they backed off and didn't dare to do anything rash. Especially after seeing Mo Ba and Master Yang's corpses on the ground, they quickly retreated, thinking that the two were killed by Feng Shipian. Also, while you've been healing, boss, the number of spirit beasts passing through the safe area has increased, as if they're going berserk, Gu Xian said. Is that so? Lin Yi frowned. He didn't know what it meant for a spirit beast to go berserk, but it definitely wasn't a good thing for the participants of the test. Yeah, we don't dare go out anymore, Li Siba said. Zhang Naipeo and his men are gone, you guys won't get bullied here, I'm relieved. Lin Yi stood up, now, I'm going to the Five Fiends Mountains, wait for me here. Five Fiends Mountains? Boss, you're going to find Yang Qiqi? Qikuan asked, realizing what Lin Yi was planning. That's right, Lin Yi nodded, the Five Fiends Mountains are very dangerous, I have to go find her. Chapter 28:38. I see. Lin Yi felt a little guilty. Although Tian Chan was the one who activated the five evils' origin, he was the one who benefited from it in the end. However, he couldn't say this out loud. Otherwise, the dragon of five evils would do something even more frightening when it was enraged. Are you done? You can leave now. The dragon of five evils obviously didn't want to talk to Lin Yi anymore. After saying this, it lowered its head and didn't look at Lin Yi anymore. Lin Yi smiled bitterly. It seemed that the dragon of five evils didn't talk to him and Tian Chan before because it looked down on them. Now that it talked, it was just strange that he didn't fall to his death and instead climbed up from the bottom of the cliff. By the way, I want to ask you something. After we left, did you see a girl? She was wearing a black leather coat and looked very cool. Lin Yi asked. Do you know her? Are you with her? The dragon of five evils suddenly asked after listening. Yes, did you see her? Lin Yi asked quickly. Oh, do you want to see her? The dragon of five evils asked instead of answering his question. Do you know where she is? Lin Yi asked hesitantly. He felt that the dragon of five evils was up to no good. I know. I will send you to see her. After saying this, the dragon of five evils suddenly moved. Although its body was huge, its speed wasn't slow. It suddenly rushed out of the cave and grabbed Lin Yi. What do you want? Lin Yi felt something was wrong and asked cautiously. The girl in black that you mentioned asked for the scale on my foot. I didn't give it to her, so she wanted to cut it secretly. She asked me to throw it down the valley. The five evils dragon snorted coldly and said, since you're with her, you can go down again and keep her company. Wait, I can go down myself. There's no need to trouble you. Lin Yi said as his scalp tingled. It's too late. The five evils dragon swung its claws a few times and with a swoosh, it threw Lin Yi down the cliff again. Before Skybolt Pig could catch Lin Yi was sent flying. GG. The Skybolt Pig was a little anxious as he watched Lin Yi fly away. He had no choice but to jump off the cliff himself, but he was afraid that he wouldn't be able to jump that far, or he might just fall to his death. However, the dragon of five evils glanced at Skybolt Pig and did not do anything to him. Perhaps because they were of the same species, the dragon of five evils turned around and returned to the cave, ignoring Skybolt Pig. Skybolt Pig hesitated. He wanted to chase after Lin Yi, but there was no point in going. He might as well stay here, and if Lin Yi's friends came looking for him, he'd be able to notify them in time. Lin Yi flew down the cliff, but this time, Lin Yi wasn't injured. He channeled his practitioner's arts and used his qi to protect himself. Lin Yi was only lightly injured, nothing too serious. After resting for a bit, Lin Yi got up from the ground and started looking for Qiqi. The bottom of the cliff was boundless, and it was easy for Lin Yi to spot Qiqi's silhouette. That black leather shirt and pants were very recognizable. Chi-Chi was lying on the ground not far away, not moving at all. He didn't know how she was doing. Lin Yi was startled, and quickly ran over to check Chi-Chi's breath. She was still breathing, but it was very weak. Lin Yi let out a breath of relief. As long as Chi-Chi wasn't dead, there was still hope. Lin Yi didn't just focus only, he grabbed Chi-Chi's wrist and channeled the second stage of the art of dragon mastery, healing her internal injuries. Chi-Chi's injuries were all caused by the fall. She was a physical practitioner, and didn't have chi to protect her body. Her condition was a little more serious. She was a mystic late-phase peak, but her practitioner's arts weren't focused on protecting her body, but on qigong. No matter how good her qigong was, falling from such a high place would leave her half-dead. Chi-Chi seemed to have had a very long dream. She was thrown off the cliff by the 5-wrath dragon, and she thought that she was done for. When she woke up, she didn't know if she was in heaven or on earth. Ugh! Chi-Chi opened her eyes. It was a familiar face, surprising her. Lin Yi? You're dead too. Lin Yi was a little speechless. I'm not dead. Not dead. Then why do I see you? Chi-Chi was still a little confused. Because you're not dead either. Lin Yi said. Ah. Chi-Chi froze as she realized that all the pain was gone from her body, as if she was back to normal. She was in an unfamiliar place, probably the bottom of a cliff. Chi-Chi remembered the last thing she saw before she closed her eyes. You're the one who healed my wounds? My ribs are all healed? Weren't they broken before? Yes. Lin Yi nodded. Then you took off my clothes again? Chi-Chi asked, shocked. I told you, you don't need to take off your clothes to heal. Your memory isn't good, is it? Lin Yi said. But I didn't know you could fix bones. Chi-Chi glared at Lin Yi, a little wronged. Why are you always so mean to me? You were the one who was mean to me first, trying to kill me, right? I was the one who came to save you out of kindness, and you're still causing trouble. Lin Yi shrugged. I'm sorry. Chi-Chi remembered that they were at the bottom of the cliff, and that Lin Yi was here to find her. That meant that he'd gone to the 5 Fiends Mountains as well. Perhaps he'd fought the 5-wrath dragon as well? How else would he find her? At that thought, Chi-Chi felt a little apologetic. Yeah, Lin Yi had helped her time and time again. How could she not be grateful? But there was already someone else in her heart, and she couldn't accept anyone else. As a result, Chi-Chi was still upset that Lin Yi had seen her body. Ah. It's nothing. Lin Yi smiled. He didn't know why, but Lin Yi ignored Chi-Chi's tsundere attitude time and time again. One apology, and Lin Yi didn't mind Chi-Chi's hostility from before. How did you find this place? Did Zhao Qikuan and the others tell you? Chi-Chi changed the topic. Chapter 28:39. Ah. I'm sorry, it's all because of me. I pissed off the dragon, and I dragged you down with me. Chi-Chi said apologetically. Lin Yi had helped her time and time again. How could she not be touched? Now that she thought about it, Chi-Chi felt guilty. Lin Yi didn't owe her anything, so why was he helping her again and again? It's nothing. Even if it didn't throw me down, I jumped down myself to find you. Lin Yi said, our team came together. We couldn't just leave you here alone, could we? Right. How's Zhang Naipeo? Chi-Chi asked. He got revenge for you. Lin Yi didn't go into specifics, but Chi-Chi should be able to understand. As expected, Chi-Chi's mouth opened in shock. Lin Yi's strength was beyond her expectations, but it made sense. After all, when hadn't Lin Yi crushed his opponents beneath his feet? Yeah. Chi-Chi nodded, but thinking about how she failed to get the scale from the 5 malefic dragon, she couldn't help but feel a little down. Little Nine's condition was getting worse. It wasn't that serious before, but it had been getting worse and worse for the past year, and Chi-Chi had been running around looking for medicine and ways to cure Little Nine. Chi-Chi's house was a large assassin organization, but it was only one of the largest in the common world. If it weren't for Lil Nine's illness, they'd never have any contact with the training world. But in order to cure Lil Nine's illness, Chi-Chi had no choice but to step into an unknown territory. What's wrong? Lin Yi asked, seeing the heavy look on Chi-Chi's face. It's nothing. I didn't get what I wanted from the test. Chi-Chi sighed. You want to go ask the dragon for its scale? Lin Yi asked, a little moved. Yeah, I wanted to talk to it, but it didn't talk to me. I thought it was asleep, so I sneakily went to pluck one off, but it was just pretending to sleep. It grabbed me and threw me off the cliff. Chi-Chi said, a little troubled. Ugh. Lin Yi felt that Chi-Chi's actions were a bit crazy, but Lin Yi hadn't fought the 5 malefic dragon himself. Who would have thought that it was that strong? Chi-Chi didn't know how strong the dragon was either. Forget it, I'll think of another way. Chi-Chi sat on the ground, hugging her legs. That was what she said, but anyone could see the helplessness in her eyes. Do you really need the scales of the 5 evils dragon? Lin Yi's heart softened as he asked. As long as it's something from the dragon's claw, it doesn't have to be a scale. Wouldn't it be even more pissed off if we cut off a piece of meat? Chi-Chi said. If it's something else from the dragon's claw, then what about this? Lin Yi took out the nail he'd collected from the 5 malefic dragon and showed it to Chi-Chi. This is... Chi-Chi blinked. This is a nail from the 5 malefic dragon. I fought it before, and it used its nail to stab a friend of mine, but the nail broke, so I kept it. Lin Yi said. Ah. Chi-Chi was pleasantly surprised. She didn't think that the nail would be in Lin Yi's hands. Did this mean that this trip wasn't a waste? Chi-Chi wanted to take the nail from Lin Yi, but then remembered how precious it was. She couldn't just take something from Lin Yi for free. I don't have anything to trade with you. You'll trade yourself then. Lin Yi said seriously, holding back his laughter. Ah. Chi-Chi paused, not expecting a condition like this from Lin Yi. She didn't know what to do. Can't you change the condition? I can pay on credit. Where would I find you if you ran away? Lin Yi said. Chi-Chi went silent. That was right. Where would Lin Yi go to find her if she ran? Most importantly, Chi-Chi really did want that nail from Lin Yi's hand. With that, Lil Zhou's illness could be cured. Huh, I'm just messing with you. Lin Yi put the nail in Chi-Chi's hand, smiling. Take it, it's a gift to you. Don't always think so badly of people. Chi-Chi took the nail from Lin Yi's hand, unable to hold back the tears that started falling down her cheeks. Why were you crying again? Wasn't I just joking? Lin Yi didn't know what to say as he looked at Chi-Chi's tear-stained face. No. Chi-Chi shook her head. Lin Yi, you're a good person. I won't kill you. But there's someone else in my heart already. I'll repay you in other ways. Is this a good person card? Lin Yi smiled, not caring. But a good person card is a good person card. Thank you. Chi-Chi smiled through her tears. How do I use this? Lin Yi couldn't imagine how the nail could be used to cure a disease. Do I just eat it? I don't know. I asked around for a long time and looked through a lot of ancient books before I found out about the use of the claw. Chi-Chi said. How do you use it? You eat it, I guess. Alright, pretend I didn't ask. Lin Yi said. Let's get ready and go back to safety. Zhao Qikuan and the others are probably getting impatient. Alright. But how are we going to get up? Chi-Chi looked up and saw how high the cliff was. The height gave her a fright. There was no way they could jump up. I've come down once with someone before, and there are climbing marks on the cliff over there. We just need to follow the marks and jump up. Lin Yi said, pointing in a direction not far away. That's good. Chi-Chi breathed out in relief. She really wouldn't know how to get up there otherwise. She was just good at Qinggong, but no matter how good she was, she couldn't jump that high. Lin Yi brought Chi-Chi to the place where he and Tian Chan had jumped. Lin Yi decided to give it a try, and so he jumped towards the first spot Tian Chan made. Chapter 2840. At first, Lin Yi didn't think about whether or not he could climb back up when he went down to save Chi-Chi. He thought that with the marks left behind by Tian Chan, he would be able to climb up easily. But now, Lin Yi realized that he was wrong. He'd neglected the most important point. The difference in strength between him and Tian Chan. Lin Yi's running speed was about the same as a sky class, but that didn't mean that his strength was the same. The height that a sky class could jump wasn't something that Lin Yi could reach with his current strength. Chi-Chi paused as she watched Lin Yi jump up and down, noticing the problem as well. She saw the marks left behind by Tian Chan, but the height wasn't something Chi-Chi could reach. She knew her Qigong very well. There was no way she could reach that height. Lin Yi's failure made Chi-Chi's face change. The marks are too high. I can't jump up. I can't jump up either. Lin Yi smiled bitterly. That jump had pretty much used up all of Lin Yi's energy, but he still couldn't reach Tian Chan's height. There was no way to make up for the difference in strength. Even if Lin Yi used all of his qi, he still wouldn't be able to beat Tian Chan. And from the looks of it, not only could Tian Chan jump that high, but she still had enough energy to use techniques to hit the cliffs. Lin Yi, on the other hand, had used up all of his energy just jumping, let alone hitting the cliffs. Plus, with Lin Yi's current strength, he probably wouldn't be able to do any damage to the cliffs. Tian Chan had used her sky class late phase peak strength, but she'd only left a few shallow marks on the cliffs. Then we. Chi-Chi's eyes went wide at Lin Yi's words. We can't go up. I can't go up anymore. Lin Yi nodded. Previously, he had been anxious to save people and had neglected these problems. Now that he had thought of it, it was too late. Unless another master on the level of Tian Chan came down to rescue them, Lin Yi was really helpless. Then how did you guys get up there? Chi-Chi asked curiously. Before, my friend was a sky class late phase peak. Lin Yi told Chi-Chi about how he went up with Tian Chan and how he helped Tian Chan replenish her stamina. Chi-Chi knew more than enough about him anyways, and Lin Yi didn't need to hide anything. I see. Then. Is there no other way? Chi-Chi frowned. No. With that, Lin Yi told Chi-Chi about what he and Tian Chan had discussed before. Lin Yi had been trapped once before, so there was no point in looking for another way out. We can't get out? How can we? Chi-Chi couldn't accept this at all. She'd finally found the claw of the 5 malefic dragon, and she wanted to give it to little Anine as soon as possible. She didn't expect to be trapped here. That's the truth. Lin Yi said helplessly, but there was nothing he could do. We wouldn't be using this stupid method if there was another way out, then. What about that sky class late phase peak friend of yours? Would she find out that you didn't go back and come looking for you? Chi-Chi asked hopefully. That friend of mine is just a chance acquaintance, a temporary companion. She left after going up here. There's no way she'd come back. Lin Yi shook his head. Lin Yi was actually panicking as well, but judging from Chi-Chi's expression, she'd probably go crazy if Lin Yi kept panicking. As a result, Lin Yi tried his best to look calm, but Lin Yi was actually panicking as well. But Lin Yi's hopes were on Skybolt Pig. The pig didn't come down with him. If he waited for a while and realized that he wasn't going up, would he go tell Feng Shipian and the others? But if it was just Li Siba and Feng Shipian, Lin Yi couldn't guarantee that they'd be able to make it up. Who knew if they were all stuck here? Lin Yi had thought about getting Li Siba to hit the cliff, but he was only a sky class mid-phase, and while he was a physical practitioner, Lin Yi couldn't help him recover his qi. Even if Lin Yi brought him up, he'd probably give up halfway. Of course, he could let Li Siba recover on his own, and Lin Yi would bring him up after he'd recovered. That way, they'd be able to reach the next level, but the drawback was obvious as well. There was a time limit to the test, and after 20 days, the Five's malice chi would invade the body. Lin Yi was fine, but Li Siba and the others weren't. They'd probably go mad from the Five's malice chi invading their bodies before they even reached the halfway point. So, this method wouldn't work. Lin Yi was conflicted. He didn't know what choice Skybolt Pig would make. Then, why did you come to save me? Doesn't that mean you're stuck here with me? Yang Qiqi looked at Lin Yi, touched and sympathetic. She didn't know what to say. Lin Yi had helped her and taken care of her, and that was something she'd seen with her own eyes. She just didn't know how to repay him. Haha. Lin Yi smiled and didn't say anything else. Lin Yi could tell from the unique mark on Qiqi's ring that she came from the place he trained at when he was young, and since she was close to the 9th princess, she must be a core disciple there. But Lin Yi was still young back then, and his memories were still stuck in his childhood. He didn't even remember Yang Xiaoxiao and the 9th princess, let alone this girl. Lin Yi's memories were a little hazy, and even if he did remember, he probably wouldn't have much of an impression. Yang Xiaoxiao was his Shifu's daughter, and the 9th princess was his adopted daughter. The two were Lin Yi's companions when he was young. Ever since then, his Shifu had instilled in him that as a captain, he couldn't give up on any of the team members. He had to have teamwork in teamwork. This was one of the reasons why Lin Yi came looking for Yang Qiqi. Lin Yi felt a little emotional at the thought of Yang Xiaoxiao and the 9th princess. It had been so many years since he'd gone back, it was about time. From the princess' tone, Lin Yi could tell that she wasn't happy that he hadn't been back for so many years. Chapter 2841. But now, he had finally settled down. There were still dangers in life, but it was different from before. Lin Yi had a goal now, and he had a sense of existence. This was the first time Lin Yi had looked at the 9th princess after looking at Yuning. I've said it before, you're a member of my team. I won't give up on any team member. Lin Yi said. Ah. Qiqi felt that this sentence was familiar, but she couldn't remember where she had heard it. She only thanked Lin Yi silently. She decided that if they could leave this place successfully, she would do everything she could to help Lin Yi find out what Lin Yi needed in Europe. Don't worry, there's always a way. Let's eat something first. You're hungry, right? Lin Yi asked. Yeah. A little. Qiqi rubbed her stomach. She was worried that she wouldn't be able to leave this place, but now that Lin Yi mentioned it, she really was hungry. Then wait for me here, I'll go catch some fish from the lake over there, Lin Yi said as he stood up and walked towards the lake the pig pointed him to. Qiqi looked at Lin Yi's back as he left, her heart filled with complicated emotions. She felt guilty, as well. She'd treated Lin Yi badly, and she'd been biting the hand that fed her. But Lin Yi didn't mind, and helped her every time she was in danger. Qiqi wasn't someone with a heart of stone, so how could she not be touched? Naturally, Lin Yi didn't know that Qiqi's opinion of him had changed. He caught 4 or 5 fish in the lake and quickly went back to where he'd come from. He prepared the fish quickly and skillfully before putting them in a clean place and starting to roast them. All right, eat. Lin Yi gave most of the fish to Qiqi, but only took one for himself. Why are you only eating one? Qiqi asked, a little embarrassed to eat it alone. I'm a spiritual practitioner, I'll be fine after a while. You're a physical practitioner, your recovery is slower, Lin Yi said. Then. I won't hold back. Qiqi nodded. The difference between spiritual and physical practitioners was that spiritual practitioners could absorb the qi in the air and turn it into their own qi for their own use. Physical practitioners, on the other hand, had to train their body to achieve their goal. Although physical experts could also use the surrounding spiritual qi for their own use after practicing martial arts, their recovery speed was still a notch lower than that of internal cultivators. Physical practitioners, on the other hand, consumed their physical strength slowly, because martial arts used the qi around them instead of using their own qi. There were pros and cons to each. However, if the physical practitioner did not use martial arts, then Zhang Naipeo's thorn arts would lose its effect. Zhang Naipeo's thorn arts could bounce 80% of the qi back to 240%. If the physical practitioner did not use martial arts and only used his strong body to hit Zhang Naipeo, there would be no rebound. However, not to mention that the masters of the Holy Fist Palace did not know about this situation. Even if they knew, they would not cause too much damage to Zhang Naipeo with the strength of their bodies. After all, physical masters also relied on martial arts to win. This was why physical practitioners were no match for spiritual practitioners at a low level. On the contrary, when they were at a high level, they would usually be stronger than spiritual practitioners of the same level. This was also because when external experts activated their martial skills, they mobilized the true energy around their bodies, unlike internal experts who emitted it from their bodies. The higher the level of external experts, the more spiritual energy they could mobilize, and naturally, the more powerful they would be. Young Chi-Chi had a good meal of grilled fish. She sat on the ground in a daze, looking at the cliff. The sky was getting dark, but young Chi-Chi didn't feel sleepy. She was trapped here, and she didn't know when she could get out. Lin Yi, say, if we can't think of a way to get out when the time is up, will the five evils qi invade our bodies and cause us to go crazy? Young Chi-Chi asked worriedly. I don't think so. I'll walk around tomorrow and see if there's a way out, Lin Yi said. Okay. Young Chi-Chi nodded. She didn't know why she trusted Lin Yi more and more after experiencing so many things with him. Lin Yi's words made her feel at ease. The next morning, at dawn, Lin Yi set off to find a way out. However, Lin Yi couldn't find a good way after walking around for a long time. It seemed that Tian Chan knew this place very well. If she said there was no way, then there was no way. Since Tian Chan could accept the inheritance here, she must know more about the Five Evils Mountain than him. So, Lin Yi gave up when he couldn't find a way. He turned to the direction of the lake and continued to catch fish. After catching a few fish, Lin Yi returned to the place where he and Yang Chi-Chi were stationed and continued to grill fish. Yang Chi-Chi saw that Lin Yi was back. She couldn't just sit back and enjoy the fruits of his labor, so she asked, "What can I do for you? Do you want me to clean these fish?" "It's fine, I'm used to it. Just wait." Lin Yi shook his head and started cleaning the fish like he was used to. Yanjing City. A pack of cigarettes was quickly finished by Tianli. He tried his best to reduce the amount of cigarettes he smoked, but it didn't take long before there was only one pack left. Tianli picked up his phone and was about to call Mr. Lang when his phone rang. What surprised him was that it was Mr. Lang. "Mr. Lang, I was just about to call you." Tianli smiled as he picked up the phone. "Mr. Liu, are you panicking? You gave me the money, scared that I'd run away?" Xiao Chun smiled brightly. "Huh, how could that be? Mr. Lang and I have a strategic partnership. Our medicine business is a couple $100 million a year. Why would Mr. Lang care about $30 million? Tianli really didn't think that Mr. Lang would lie to him. On one hand, it was the hypnotist's work, and on the other, the two companies had a couple $100 million a year. Mr. Lang wouldn't care about this small amount of money. "I'm just joking, Mr. Liu. I have good news for you," Xiao Chun said, changing the topic. "Oh? What good news? Do you have more cigarettes?" Tianli paused and asked. "We do have cigarettes, but they're all booked the moment the goods arrived. Mr. Liu, I think you should hold it in for a while. We should focus on making money first," Xiao Chun said. Chapter 2852, Closing the Net. Ah? All booked? None left? Tianli said, shocked. "Mr. Lang, I can't do that. You have to at least leave some for me. I'd rather make less money than keep some for myself. But the profit is very high. The price of a carton of cigarettes is about 10,000 yuan. I can sell it for more than 20,000 yuan. This batch of goods has a total of 2,000 cartons. Once I sell it, I can make a profit of 200%. Xiao Chun said. We invested 30 million, including the money we used to bribe the gangsters when we smuggled them in. That's 50 million worth of profit. That won't make much of a difference. Leave me 10, no, 20. Tianli thought that the cigarettes would be expensive, but it didn't seem that expensive. He let out a sigh of relief and asked for more. 20. I'll try my best then. 10 should be fine, 20 depends on the situation. Xiaochun hesitated for a moment and said, by the way, Mr. Lu, let's split the money we earned, about 13 million yuan each. Shall I transfer it to your company's account? Oh. Just this one deal? You won't do it again? Tianli paused. The profits moved him quite a bit. He was a conservative person, and he could keep his business, but starting a business was a bit difficult. Naturally, he didn't want to let go of this opportunity. Plus, these cigarettes had become his daily necessities. If he didn't have these cigarettes, he couldn't imagine how he would be able to endure it. So, subconsciously, Tianli hoped that this deal would continue. It's too much money to bribe the gangsters once. This time, I'll use my connections. Next time, they'll probably have to pay 20 to 30 million before they're willing to help us smuggle boats. That way, there won't be much profit. I'm thinking about doing it again. Mr. Lang said, playing hard to get. Our capital is limited, after all. There's no point in doing it again. Is that so? Tianli didn't understand the details of smuggling. He had always been doing proper business, and even when he was importing, it was through the official customs channel. He had never asked a gangster to smuggle a boat. So when Mr. Lang said that, he believed him. But Tianli wasn't too satisfied. Then should we increase the amount of stock each time? Should we talk to those gangsters again? That. It's not impossible, but I'm afraid that it'll take up too much of Mr. Lu's capital, and I'm also afraid that Mr. Lu will think that this isn't a proper business, Mr. Lang said. The capital can be researched, but this business, this huge profit isn't something I'm interested in. How is that possible? Tianli said. Mr. Lang, where are you? I'll come find you, and we can talk about it. I'm at the hotel. Let me bring Lil Chui to your company, and I'll bring you the cigarettes on the way. Xiaochun said. All right, I'll wait for you at my company, Mr. Lang. Tianli quickly said. Half an hour later, Xiaochun and the hypnotist appeared at Tianli's company, and Tianli naturally welcomed them warmly in the guest room. Mr. Lang. You're the best, bringing in such a huge profit in just a few days. Tianli wasn't someone who hadn't seen a lot of money before. But to be able to earn so much in just a few days, this speed was not to be underestimated. It's nothing, it's nothing. If it weren't for Mr. Lu's support, I wouldn't be able to earn this much. Xiaochun waved his hand with a smile. But it's not impossible for us to continue investing. Yes, Mr. Lu, the more you invest, the greater the return. For example, Mr. Lu, if you invest a few 100 million, the return will be even greater. Cui Mianshi seized the opportunity. That's right, then let's invest 500 million. Let's hope we can earn more. Tianli didn't know what was going on, but he suddenly felt a strong urge to invest. He didn't even think about it. That works too. Then let's sign another contract and continue this business. Xiaochun said. All right, no problem. I'll start raising the money in the next 2 days. Tianli's company didn't earn much after becoming the agent of Miracle Dr. Guan's medical company, but the cash flow was still very strong. When Lin Yi treated Jinhu, it was a bit hard for House Lu to gather 100 million, but now 500 million wasn't a problem at all. Although most of it was from Miracle Dr. Guan's medical company, they could still use it once in a while. After all, Lin Yi trusted House Lu a lot. He never checked the accounts before, so Tianli still had a lot of room to maneuver. The contract is still the same as last time, just changing the numbers, Cui Mianshi said as he took out a contract from his bag and passed it to Tianli. Tianli nodded and looked at the contract. It was the same as last time, but the investment amount wasn't confirmed yet. No problem, I'll sign it now and help you raise the money. Tianli nodded and looked at the contract briefly. Since they had worked together many times, Tianli didn't suspect anything and signed the contract right away. In the next few days, Tianli started to raise money for Xiaochun. He used the money from the company to buy the medicine for Miracle Dr. Guan's medical company and some of the money from the customers, and transferred it to Mr. Lang's account. With cigarettes, Tianli's life in the future would be very comfortable. He would smoke every day, fantasizing that the 500 million would turn into 1 billion. Who would doubt his ability to expand if that happened? However, in less than 2 days, Xiao Chun called him again. Mr. Lu, it's me, Xiaochun said. Mr. Lang, what's up? How's the organization of our goods? Tianli asked. The goods are pretty much organized, but there's something else I want to discuss with you. We're going to do it. How about a big one? Xiaochun asked. A big one? What do you mean? How did you make it big? Tianli paused. How about this, I'll go with Lil Chui, and we'll talk about it at your company. Xiaochun said. All right, I'll wait for Mr. Lang's arrival at the company, Tianli said quickly. Chapter 2842. Mr. Lang, what's the plan? Tianli asked. I'll let Chui explain it to you. Xiaochun gestured to Cui Mianshi. Today was the day to pull in the net, so for safety's sake, Xiaochun was going to let Cui Mianshi explain. Although Cui Mianshi had been giving Tianli psychological hints all this time, and with Xiaochun and Tianli building a good relationship with each other with cigarettes, there weren't any flaws that could be exploited. It's like this. Today is the harvest season for that small country, so the price of cigarettes has dropped quite a bit recently. It's around 8,000 yuan per carton. If we use this opportunity to get a lot of them back, even if we can't sell them all at once, we can sell them for a month or so and slowly sell them, and we'll be able to earn more. As Cui Mianshi spoke, he told Tianli the words he had prepared beforehand. Of course, he didn't even need to say much, as he had already used the hypnosis on Tianli's body when he spoke. So you're saying that as long as we invest more money, we can earn more money? Tianli understood what Cui Mianshi meant. That's right. What do you think, Mr. Lu? Our Mr. Lang thinks that it's better to be more stable. Although we can earn more money now, it'll take up a lot of funds. Don't these funds have interest in the bank? Cui Mianshi said this intentionally, but he used hypnosis to hint to Tianli that taking up funds wasn't a problem as long as they could earn money. I'm familiar with Miracle Dr. Guan's company, so it's fine to transfer the funds to them later. It's fine to hold the funds for a month or so. It's just that it's a little difficult to gather more funds, so I'll have to wait for the goods to be delivered by Miracle Dr. Guan's company this month. I'll sell them in bulk and wait for the agents and distributors to pay me back. It'll take a few days. Tianli wouldn't be so blind if he was doing other business, but he had smoked this cigarette before. He knew how good it was, and there were many rich people like him who felt the same way. Plus, with Cui Mianshi's hypnosis, there was only one thought in his mind, and that was how to raise money. He didn't even think about doubting anything. All right, just do as you see fit, Mr. Lu. It'll be great if this business is done, but don't burden Mr. Lu's company. There's no end to the money, and there'll be opportunities in the future. Xiaochun said, pretending to be generous. Mr. Lang, money is definitely not a problem. Since I've agreed, naturally I can get it. Since there's this chance, let's make it big. I'll go prepare now. Tianli didn't say much, rushing to get the money. All right, then I won't bother you anymore. If there's any good news, please share it with me. Xiao Chun also stood up. Then, I'll leave now. Please continue with your work, Mr. Lu. With his status as the main supplier of Miracle Dr. Guan's medical company, funds weren't much of a problem for Tianli. As long as he pressed on both sides, he would be able to raise $1 billion. And so, after sending Miao Lang and Shui Mianshir off, Tianli lit a cigarette and started thinking about how to use the company's funds. Today was the 15th day of the Sky Elixir Sect's test. Only a small number of participants returned to the mountain behind the sect, while most of them stayed here forever. In the Five Evils Savage Land, the corpses of cultivators could be seen at regular intervals. They were all cultivators killed by spirit beasts. Zhao Qikuan, Feng Shiyan, Li Siba, and Gu Xian were all worried. Today was the day they were supposed to leave the 5 fiendish barons, but Lin Yi wasn't back yet. There were still 5 days left, but there was no news for so many days, and there might not be news in the next 5 days. Boss isn't back yet, what should we do? Feng Shiyan looked at Zhao Qikuan. He was the first one to follow Lin Yi, and he knew Lin Yi's personality the best. So when Feng Shiyan asked, Li Siba and Gu Xian looked at Zhao Qikuan as well. Let's wait another 2 days. If boss isn't back in 2 days, we'll go to the teleportation formation and leave this place first. Zhao Qikuan said after some hesitation. He knew Lin Yi's personality very well. If Lin Yi was in trouble, then they'd be a burden to Lin Yi if they stayed here. Plus, there was 5 fiendish qi in the 5 fiendish barons. After 15 days, the qi would invade the practitioner's body, and once it reached 20 days, it would exceed the endurance of a normal practitioner. If they didn't leave soon, the qi would cause them to lose consciousness or even go crazy. And so, there was no point in waiting here. If they were infected by the 5 fiendish qi, then Lin Yi would have to think of a way to save them. So, they might as well leave first. That's not good, is it? Without boss, we'd be in danger. We might even die here. Li Siba respected Lin Yi the most. Lin Yi had avenged his sect members. If it weren't for Lin Yi being his boss, Li Siba would have seen Naipeo as an enemy. He was different from other people. Even if Naipeo didn't kill him, he wouldn't let him stay in a safe place. Siba, you've misunderstood me. Boss means what he says. If we keep waiting here, the qi will invade our bodies, and it'll be even more troublesome for him to save us. Boss is strong, and if he can't handle it, then we can't either. Boss told us to leave when the test ends, and that's today. We'll wait for 2 more days. If boss doesn't come back by then we'll leave first. Qikuan explained. All right. Feng Shiyan understood what Qikuan meant. He nodded and said to Siba, Brother Qikuan is right, boss is strong, and we won't be of much help here. We might drag him down instead. Chapter 28:43. I've observed it for a while. Spirit beasts are less active at night. If I'm not wrong, the 5 evils qi is more concentrated here at night, which is good for spirit beasts to cultivate. Therefore, they rarely move around at night. Even if they see human cultivators, as long as they don't provoke them, there shouldn't be a problem. Gu Xian was an observant. It was impossible to sell information in the ancient world without good observations. He would notice a lot of things that others wouldn't. He'd been observing the spirit beasts' movements for the past few days, and he'd come up with this pattern. But it's not like this for the entire night. It's just that between 2 to 4 in the morning, there's no spirit beast in front of the safe area. Oh. Is that so? Feng Shiyan was overjoyed. Gu Xian, you're really well informed. You've even noticed this pattern? Normal practitioners wouldn't be able to notice the pattern of the spirit beast's movements under such a stressful situation. Even the Sky Elixir sect didn't know. After all, no one could predict the pattern of the spirit beast's movements. Before the spirit beasts went berserk, there was no pattern to their action. They'd train when they wanted, rest when they wanted, attack when they wanted. But now, it was different. They'd go berserk every day to search for practitioners, but they couldn't go berserk for 24 hours. They had to rest and train, and this time was between 2 to 4 in the morning, as Gu Xian had discovered. I'm ashamed, I only confirmed it last night. After all, I wasn't sure about my guess before. Gu Xian spread her hands and said, with our speed, we should be able to reach the teleportation array in 2 hours. After all, this place is not far from the teleportation array, so we don't need to leave 3 days in advance. We can leave 2 days in advance and wait for another day. Alright, we'll wait 3 days then. Qikuan nodded. Let's confirm the pattern again. Below the cliffs of the Five Fiends mountain range, Lin Yi had been fishing and grilling for Chi-Chi these days. He'd given up on finding a way out. Chi-Chi, on the other hand, was getting quieter and quieter, especially as the end of the test drew nearer. Lin Yi, today's the 15th day of the test. Do you think we can't get out? Chi-Chi took the fish from Lin Yi and put it into her mouth mechanically. Even if we can't get out, isn't it good to live here? Lin Yi explained with a smile. In fact, Lin Yi was also very anxious, but there was no use in being anxious when there was no other way. Don't try to comfort me. We'll all die if we stay here for more than 20 days. Chi-Chi smiled bitterly. I don't have much experience in society, and I'm a little dumb, but I know that the rules are real. Lin Yi smiled. I don't have much experience in society, and I'm a little dumb, but I know that the rules are real. Lin Yi's heart sank as well. The Five Fiends' Qi wasn't a problem for Lin Yi, but it wasn't for Chi-Chi. Without a choice, Lin Yi entered the jade space. Oi, I say, Senior Ghost, do you have any good ideas for me to get out of here? Lin Yi got straight to the point. The thing stayed in the corner, not answering Lin Yi. Oi, I know you're still awake. Answer me now, or you won't be able to train if I die here. This jade space is bound to me, and if I die, the jade space might disappear. Lin Yi threatened. You won't die, the Five Fiends' Qi here isn't harmful to you. In fact, it's useful. The Five Fiends' Qi isn't as pure as the energy in the jade space, but you can still use it for training. The thing finally spoke. Can't you just disturb me? It's very hard for me to go into hibernation. That's not for sure. What if the Five Fiends' Qi enters my body? There are always accidents, and even if there aren't any accidents, there's no point in me living here alone. I might even kill myself. Lin Yi threatened. Oh, if you really don't want to live, I can't do anything about it. Then I'll leave the space of the jade pendant. I've said it before, although the Five Evils' Qi here is not as pure as in your space, I can still cultivate. The ghostly thing said unhurriedly, think carefully before you die. Okay, I'm begging you. Is there any way for me to get out? Lin Yi saw that his threats didn't work, so he could only coax and pester it. There's really no way. The thing shook its head. How about you call a flying spirit beast, and I'll communicate with it to see if it can take you up. Lin Yi was speechless. Where can I call it? There's no spirit beast around here? Then there's nothing I can do. I'll continue to go into hibernation. Don't disturb me if there's nothing important. The thing said to Lin Yi and disappeared. Jiao Lao. Lin Yi looked at Jiao Yazi. There's nothing I can do, but you should practice more. When you become a heavenly path master, maybe my memory will recover, and I can call a flying saucer. Maybe then I can take you up. Jiao Yazi said. Heavenly path, flying saucer. Lin Yi's face was dark as he returned to reality. What are you doing? Chi-Chi had been bored out of her mind these past couple of days. She looked at Lin Yi sitting there like an idiot. Are you practicing? No. Lin Yi shook his head. I'm trying to think of a way to get out. Then have you thought of a way? Chi-Chi asked. Not yet. Lin Yi shook his head and handed the fish to Chi-Chi. Here, the last one. It's done. Eat it. Oh. Chi-Chi took the fish and started eating. After that, she sat on the ground and looked around, not knowing what to do. Suddenly, she saw the bones she'd eaten before and started arranging them on the ground. Everyone knew how to eat fish, but it really took a lot of effort to arrange all the fish bones in order after eating the fish. The big bones in the middle were easy, as long as they were not damaged, they could be placed there directly. However, the bones on the back and belly of the fish were small and messy, so it was much more difficult to arrange them in order. Chapter 28:44. Lin Yi paused as he watched Chi-Chi arrange the bones. He fell into his memories. Back when he was young, his Shifu had given him a question like this to train his memory and observation skills. After eating the fish, they'd have to put the bones back, and it was a test every year. But all of this was etched into the depths of Lin Yi's memories, memories that would last forever. His master had left, and Lin Yi didn't know where he went. Lin Yi didn't go back to the fish bones, either, because he didn't need to train his memory and observation skills like this anymore, and also because he was slowly stepping onto the path of a practitioner, leaving behind his days as an assassin. Looking at all of this, Lin Yi was filled with emotions as he stared at Chi-Chi, as if he was back in his childhood. Lin Yi wasn't surprised that Chi-Chi knew how to put the bones back together. Chi-Chi came from that assassin organization after all, and this kind of training should be common. It was just that Chi-Chi was a little rusty, and it seemed like she hadn't done it in years. Chi-Chi focused on putting the bones back together, and it wasn't just Lin Yi. Chi-Chi felt like she was back in her childhood as well. People would always reminisce when they were in despair. It was normal, and Chi-Chi was the same. Before she knew it, half an hour had passed. In the past, Chi-Chi only needed a few minutes to put a set of bones together, but it was different. Sometimes she needed half a day to think about it. Chi-Chi picked up a bone, put it back down, and picked it up again. She wasn't sure what to do. This was a similar bone, there was a fish's back and belly, and the length and thickness were about the same. Chi-Chi frowned and started thinking. After a while, Chi-Chi finally put her hand down and put the bone back on the belly. This is the bone on the fish's back. I've told you the difference so many times, how come you don't remember? Lin Yi didn't know whether to laugh or cry as he watched Chi-Chi's actions, but something wasn't right. The person in front of him was young Chi-Chi, not his childhood playmate and team member, young Xiao Xiao. Once upon a time, his Shifu's daughter, young Xiao Xiao, would always get this bone wrong, and so Lin Yi would always correct her, not knowing whether to laugh or cry. Ah. Chi-Chi paused, her eyes blurry as she raised her head. It was only then that she realized it was Lin Yi. At that moment, she even thought that Lin Yi was that person. What did you just say? Nothing. I said you spelled it wrong. This fish bone should be placed here, Lin Yi said as he pointed at the back of the fish. How did you know? Chi-Chi was a little puzzled, but she was lost in her memories and didn't hear what Lin Yi was saying. Or maybe she was hallucinating. I've done it before, Lin Yi said. Oh. Thanks. Chi-Chi put the bone back on the back of the fish. I didn't think that you'd do something so boring. Boring, huh? Lin Yi was considering if he should tell her that he was from that assassin organization as well. He and Chi-Chi weren't that close before, but after so many encounters, they'd been through thick and thin together. Lin Yi wasn't worried about Chi-Chi's character at all. This girl might be a bit of a bitch, but she wasn't a blabbermouth. Plus, Lin Yi was planning on going to the island where he trained after this test was over. He wanted to see Xiao Qi and Xiao Jiu. But, Lin Yi wasn't sure if he'd be able to get out of this test, and he was a little troubled. He wasn't in the mood to talk about these things right now. Fish bones can train one's memory and observation skills. You've been an assassin before? Chi-Chi paused. Every practitioner is an assassin. In the world of practitioners, today's friend is tomorrow's enemy. If you don't have sharp instincts, you won't even know how you died. Lin Yi smiled. Just like sometimes, when you're kind enough to save someone, that person turns around and tries to kill you. You. Lin Yi, stop saying stuff like that. I told you I wouldn't kill you. Chi-Chi's face was red, embarrassed. I was just giving an example, I wasn't talking about you. Lin Yi said innocently. That's not what I said. Chi-Chi denied. Haha. Lin Yi laughed. What are you laughing at? Chi-Chi asked. Nothing, I think you look like a friend of mine. Lin Yi was telling the truth. In that moment, Lin Yi had a feeling that Chi-Chi was his childhood playmate, Yang Xiaoxiao. It was just a feeling. After all, it had been so many years, Lin Yi couldn't remember what Xiaoxiao looked like anymore. The Xiaoxiao now was probably training hard, preparing to inherit her father's position as the king of assassins. There was no way she'd risk her life to enter the world of practitioners for some test. The two shared the same surname, but this generation of disciples were mostly orphans, they all took on their master's surname. It wasn't strange at all. What a lame excuse. Chi-Chi rolled her eyes at Lin Yi. How's this pick up? I know you from the start, alright? Lin Yi was a little speechless. I'm just telling the truth. You don't think I'm going after you, do you? That's hard to say, there's only the two of us here. If we really can't get out, who would you go after if not me? There aren't even any spirit beasts here. Chi-Chi was joking. After all, this place was too boring, and she'd accepted Lin Yi in her heart. Her hostility towards Lin Yi was gone. If we really can't get out, I'll think about it. Lin Yi said. No, I already have a prince on a white horse in my heart. I'd rather die than submit. Chi-Chi said. Then haven't you heard of forcing yourself on someone? Lin Yi asked. If you're not afraid that I'll kill you, do what you want. Chi-Chi said. Lin Yi chuckled and looked at the sky, it was already nighttime. Let's get some rest, I need to train. Okay. Chi-Chi didn't hesitate and laid down on the ground, getting ready to sleep. She wasn't on guard against Lin Yi at all. With Lin Yi's strength, there was no way she could defend against him if he wanted to. It was just like what Lin Yi said, she could force herself on him. Chapter 28:45. Although on the 16th day, the cultivators who remained in the training ground did not directly fall unconscious or suffer from qi deviation, they all showed varying degrees of weakness and dizziness. These were signs that the five evils' qi had entered their bodies. They had to leave the five evils' savage land as soon as possible before the 20th day. After leaving, the five evils' qi in their bodies would slowly dissipate. Once the 20th day passed, they would fall unconscious or suffer from qi deviation, and the five evils' qi in their bodies would not automatically dissipate. Qikuan and the other three were all experiencing these two situations. Qikuan and Li Siba were sky class, so they weren't as bad as this. Qikuan had it the worst, followed by Guxian. Qikuan, if we really can't do it, let's just leave tonight. I see that your situation is the worst, and I'm afraid that you won't be able to hold on. If something really happens to you, boss will be very worried. Shipian said. Let's hold on for another day. I can still do it, but if boss doesn't come back tomorrow, we'll leave. Qikuan said after some hesitation. All right. Shipian nodded. At the bottom of the Five Malice Mountains, Chi-Chi was experiencing the same thing as well. Her situation was even worse than Qikuan's. She was weaker than Qikuan in the first place, and while her level was higher, at Mystic Late Phase Peak, her defense was much weaker than Qikuan's. Plus, this was the mountain range with the densest qi in the Five Malice Barrens, or else the Five Malice Dragon wouldn't be able to rule this place. Lin Yi, it's been 15 days, and today is the 16th. I'm feeling a little dizzy, and I don't have any strength. Did the Five Malice Qi enter my body? Chi-Chi's spirit was clearly a lot weaker. Should be, but don't worry, there's always a way out. Who knows, there might be other ways. Lin Yi said as he stood up. I'll go catch some small fishes for you to replenish your strength. Although Lin Yi didn't ask if Chi-Chi was Yang Xiao, Lin Yi knew that she was here to get medicine for little Jill, so he was very concerned about her. Thank you. Chi-Chi smiled, suddenly thinking that it would be nice to have Lin Yi by her side before she died. She'd thought that Lin Yi was a pervert, but now it seemed that Lin Yi wasn't like that at all. He was a good person. If her heart had not been occupied by another person, perhaps she would have fallen in love with him. At that thought, all the good things about Lin Yi popped up in Chi-Chi's mind. He carried Xiao to the ice palace for the test, going through all that trouble just to get medicine for his girlfriend. How touching was that? And he had helped her time and time again without asking for anything in return. No wonder that Xiaoka girl liked him so much. He really had a lot of good points. In the blink of an eye, Lin Yi was back from fishing. He went fishing every day, and Lin Yi was familiar with the routine. He started grilling fish for Chi-Chi as soon as he got back. Thank you. Chi-Chi didn't know how else to express her feelings other than thanking him. She took the fish and started eating. But today, Chi-Chi clearly didn't have the energy she had yesterday. She laid on the side to rest after eating the fish, feeling dizzy. Lin Yi, on the other hand, was eating the fish bones out of boredom. Even if Lin Yi was in a hurry, there was nothing he could do. He wasn't Zhang Naipeo, and he couldn't absorb the 5 malice qi from Chi-Chi's body. Chi-Chi wasn't a spiritual practitioner either, and he couldn't help her refine or expel the 5 malice qi from her body. That damn thing was right, the qi of 5's wrath didn't harm Lin Yi at all. Lin Yi was no different from when he'd first entered the training grounds, full of energy, at the back mountain of the Sky Elixir sect. Zhao Qikuan, Feng Shipian, Li Siba, and Gu Xian successfully made it to the portal according to Gu Xian's deductions. They came back safely, and a Sky Elixir sect disciple came up to check them. You 4, please go to the 8th elder to hand over the medicine and register your name. Kang Mingming looked at the 4, and his heart jumped when he saw Qikuan. Wasn't this Lin Yi's follower? Why was he out, but Lin Yi didn't come out? Could it be that Zhang Naipeo killed him? At the thought, Kang Mingming felt refreshed. It seemed that putting his hopes on Zhang Naipeo was the right decision. Otherwise, why wouldn't Lin Yi come out? It was already the 17th day of the test, and even Lin Yi's follower had come out. There was no reason for Lin Yi not to come out. But Kang Mingming was puzzled. Why wasn't Zhang Naipeo out? Could it be that he died with Lin Yi? But he didn't care about Naipeo's life. If he died, then so be it. Feng Shipian, from the ancient house Feng, successfully obtained 1 medicine. Li Siba, from the ancient godly fist palace, successfully obtained 1 medicine. Gu Xian, freelancer, successfully obtained 1 medicine. Zhao Qikuan, from the hidden house Zhao, successfully obtained 1 medicine. The first 3 had gotten the medicine and passed the test without a problem, but Zhao Qikuan, a mystic who was hiding his strength, had passed as well. It was a mystery. So far, he was the first person to pass the test with such a low level of strength. But, seeing that the 4 came out together, the Sky Elixir sect people weren't too surprised. Originally, the 4 of them only had 2 spiritual herbs, which were obtained from the 2 disciples of the Dark Night Palace. However, along the way, they were lucky enough to see 2 cultivators who had been killed by spirit beasts. On their corpses, they found 2 more spiritual herbs, so each of the 4 of them had 1. After registering, the 4 could go back to the Sky Elixir Inn and wait for the final reward. After the 20 days, the reward would be given out. Although there was a large group of Heavenly Elixir sect disciples standing beside the teleportation array, there was actually a simple palace behind them. This was where the young master of the Heavenly Elixir sect, Sky Silkworm Transformation, was temporarily staying. Even Kang Mingming didn't think that Sky Silkworm would come out personally. After registering the names of Feng Shipian and the others, Zhaolong hurried to Sky Silkworm's palace and knocked carefully. "Young master, it's me, Ming." Chapter 2846. Yes, young sect master. Little Peach quickly opened the door for Kong Ming Ming. Kong Ming Ming followed Little Peach into Sky Silkworm Transformation's room. Little Ming, it's past 4 in the morning. Why are there challengers coming out of the teleportation array? Sky Silkworm Transformation obviously did not rest. His eyes were bloodshot and he looked a little haggard. 4 cultivators successfully passed the trial and brought back the trial elixir. Kong Ming Ming quickly took out the record book and handed it to Sky Silkworm Transformation. Young sect master, this is the list of those 4 people. Oh, let me see. Sky Silkworm Transformation took the record book from Kong Ming Ming and took a look. After seeing the names on it, his face was a little disappointed. He did not say anything and no one knew what he was thinking. Kong Ming Ming did not dare to make a sound and waited carefully by the side. It's been 18 days. He still hasn't come out. Sky Silkworm Transformation muttered to himself and returned the record book to Kong Ming Ming. Young sect master, what did you say? Who didn't come out? Kong Ming Ming did not hear what Sky Silkworm Transformation said clearly and asked quickly. Nothing. Sky Silkworm Transformation shook his head and said, I'm tired. I need to rest for a while. Little Ming, you can leave first. If anyone comes out, tell me immediately. Yes, young sect master. Kong Ming Ming nodded and smiled. Young sect master, are you tired? I'll give you another massage. With that said, Kong Ming Ming was about to grab Sky Silkworm Transformation's shoulders. During this period, he felt that he had become very familiar with Sky Silkworm Transformation. He often massaged Sky Silkworm Transformation, so he did not need to ask for instructions. Although Sky Silkworm Transformation did not seem to be in a good mood today, Kong Ming Ming did not care. Slap. A crisp, ear-piercing sound. Before Kong Ming Ming could touch Sky Silkworm Transformation's shoulders, Sky Silkworm Transformation slapped Kong Ming Ming's face. Ah! Kong Ming Ming was shocked. He covered his cheeks with his hands. The teeth inside had been knocked out. Although it was painful, it also made him feel a little inexplicable. He said vaguely with grievance, Young master, why did you hit Little Ming? Little Peach was also stunned. Wasn't Kong Ming Ming massaging her all this time? Why did he suddenly hit Kong Ming Ming today? What massage? Little Ming, remember your status. Tian Kan said angrily. Ah. Kong Ming Ming was dumbfounded. What happened? Could it be that the heavenly silkworm transformation lost its memories? Why was it that he could massage in the past, but not today? Not only did he not give her a massage, he even slapped her and said that she was impolite? If he was impolite, why didn't he say so in the past? Why did you only tell me today? Kong Ming Ming was very depressed, but he also understood a principle. Little Peach was right. Being with a king was like being with a tiger. How could he reason with the young master? If he wanted to hit, then hit. Whatever he said, he didn't dare to refute. Yes. Young master, I'm sorry. I was impulsive. Kong Ming Ming covered his cheeks and was about to cry. Forget it, you can leave. Sky Silkworm Transformation also felt that her reaction was too strong. Looking at Kong Ming Ming's aggrieved expression, Sky Silkworm Transformation's heart moved slightly. Could it be that her brother had let him massage her before? Otherwise, with Kong Ming Ming's personality, he wouldn't dare to do such a daring thing. Thinking of this, Sky Silkworm Transformation suddenly felt that she had misunderstood Kong Ming Ming. This guy was really unlucky. However, as the young master of the Heavenly Elixir sect, Sky Silkworm Transformation's dignity was necessary. At this moment, she didn't have the slightest bit of sympathy. She closed her eyes and let Little Peach take Kong Ming Ming away. After Peach left the room, Sky Silkworm Transformation opened her eyes again. What was wrong with her? Why did she care about him so much? Was it because they had fought side by side, and they were friends through thick and thin? Or was it because he was the first man to touch her body? If Lin Yi were here, he'd be able to recognize that Sky Silkworm transformation was the yellow-clothed girl from the test, Tian Chan. She was Sky Silkworm transformation's older sister, and the young master of the Heavenly Elixir sect. During the few days she'd been in the test, the position of the young master had been temporarily given to her brother Sky Silkworm transformation, but from the looks of it, it hadn't been very successful. He'd actually let Kong Mingming massage him? Tian Chan didn't know whether to laugh or cry. After she'd passed the test, she'd changed into Sky Silkworm transformation again, and moved into the palace. Her goal here was actually to secretly check if Zhang Naipeo had passed the test. Zhang Naipeo was a very important person to the Five Elements sect, and to that plan in the future. That was why Tian Chan had been paying attention to him all this time. But now, Tian Chan seemed to be paying more attention to Lin Yi's news, and Zhang Naipeo's news wasn't that important. If this had been in the past, Tian Chan would have definitely put that plan as her priority. That was her mission, and the mission of the Sky Elixir sect's rise. The Five Elements sect had already promised her that as long as that plan succeeded, all the remaining power of the Five Elements sect would belong to the Sky Elixir sect, and that Sky Elixir sect would become the #1 sect in the world of practitioners. For the dreams of her father and grandpa, Tian Chan had sacrificed herself. But now, Tian Chan suddenly felt that it was all so unreal. But she couldn't escape it. Her life was already going according to that plan, and there was no way to change it. Tian Chan touched her chest, her face slightly reddening. There was a special feeling, and that moment of heartbeat was something that she missed. But from now on, she wouldn't have anything to do with Lin Yi anymore. Even if she did, it would be as the young master of the Sky Elixir sect, and not as Tian Chan. At that time, he and I might already be standing on the opposite side of each other. With that thought, Tian Chan was a little dejected. She, in front of him, would never admit that she was Tian Chan again. She had to be strong. Tian Chan had only appeared in the test, and when she returned to the Sky Elixir sect, she had to be a Sky Silkworm transformation cultivator. She had to shoulder this responsibility. Kong Mingming and Little Peach went out of the courtyard together. Kong Mingming's face was still swollen, but he didn't dare to take the small rejuvenation pill, so he could only bear it. Seeing this, Little Peach felt a little distressed. "Brother Kong, why don't you take a small rejuvenation pill? We have it in the Sky Elixir sect, and you can refine it yourself." How could I dare to eat the young master's pill? Kong Mingming smiled bitterly and said, "Little Peach, you're right. The young master's temper is unpredictable. I guess he's in a bad mood today, and I'm unlucky. Yes, Brother Kong, you have to be careful in the future. Otherwise, once you fall out of favor, how can you marry me?" Little Peach was also a little worried. Chapter 2847. NN. Little Peach looked at Kong Mingming with misty eyes. "Big Brother Kong, you're so nice." Kong Mingming didn't dare to stay any longer. He quickly returned to the teleportation array. After all, he was the managing elder here. He chatted with Little Peach for a while and ran back. Tian Chan let her imagination run wild for a while. She didn't expect to hear footsteps at the door of the courtyard. This time, they didn't knock on the door. Instead, they pushed the door open and entered. The door of the courtyard wasn't locked, but ordinary Heavenly Elixir sect disciples and elders didn't dare to push the door open casually. Tian Chan quickly opened her eyes and stood up to greet them. Those who could enter like this must be important people. Sure enough, the people who came were Patriarch Xianzhen and Patriarch Xianchen. Tian Chan wasn't unfamiliar with Patriarch Xianzhen, but Tian Chan wasn't very familiar with Patriarch Xianchen. At this time, Patriarch Xuanchen's sudden appearance made her heart tighten slightly. Only a few people knew about her relationship with Patriarch Xianzhen. This matter had always been hidden from Patriarch Xianzhen. Of course, Tian Shan didn't know that when she went to participate in the trial, Patriarch Xianzhen had already pointed out to Patriarch Xianzhen that he knew that Tian Shan was Patriarch Xianzhen's disciple. He also knew about Patriarch Xianzhen's connections in Heavenly Elixir sect. Tian Shan and Tian Huan usually listened to Patriarch Xianzhen on the surface, but secretly, they still respected Patriarch Xianzhen as their master. However, some things could only be hidden. Otherwise, not only would she and her brother Tian Huan be unlucky, but Patriarch Xianzhen would also be unlucky. Tian Shan greets Patriarch Xianzhen and Patriarch Xianzhen. Tian Shan carefully bowed and greeted. Tian Shan, call them Master and Uncle Master. Patriarch Xianzhen waved his hand. He thought that some things were done secretly, but he didn't expect that it couldn't be hidden from Patriarch Xianzhen. Therefore, there was no need to hide the master-disciple relationship between him and Tian Shan. Yes. Tian Shan was shocked. As expected, Patriarch Xianzhen knew about it. However, she was the young master of the Heavenly Elixir sect after all. She bowed again calmly and said, "Greetings, Master and Martial Uncle. Don't stand on ceremony." Ancestor Xianzhen didn't dwell on this matter anymore and waved his hand. He was currently the temporary leader of the Five Elements sect, so although Tian Shan was Ancestor Xuanzhen's disciple, Xuanzhen's words had the most weight. Sit down. I have already brought the Five Elements sect's ancestral physique test ball. Place your hand on it and check if the inheritance is successful. In Patriarch Xuanzhen's eyes, Tian Shan was merely a chess piece. His standard for judging others was whether they were useful to him. If they were useless, he would kick them away. Yes. Tian Shan sat on the floor of the living room as instructed. Patriarch Xianzhen took out a box and took out a round bead from it. He placed it in front of Tian Shan and said, "It's not your first time taking the test. Try it again." Yes. Tian Shan quickly reached out and placed her hand on the physique test ball. In an instant, 5 lights appeared on the bead. 4 of the lights were particularly bright, but one of the lights was a little dim. The middle of the light was hollow. If Lin Yi was here, he would definitely be very surprised that the Five Elements sect actually had such a bead to test physique. As for Tian Shan, she really had 4 real attributes and 1 virtual attribute. What? She actually didn't accept the inheritance of the origin power, and she even has 4 real attributes? Patriarch Xuanzhen's expression suddenly changed, and Tian Shan was also shocked at this moment. Her own inheritance of the origin power actually failed? Tian Shan, didn't you say that you've already set up the 5 evils origin power in the 5 evils mountain range in the cave? Patriarch Xuanzhen's expression was also solemn. He quickly asked, "This time, the preparations were so appropriate, and you also took the bone and marrow cleansing pill. How did you fail?" Yes, could it be that something else happened when you accepted the inheritance? Patriarch Xianzhen asked. This. Tian Shan was shocked. She subconsciously thought of Lin Yi, but if she told the truth, she was afraid that even if this matter had nothing to do with Lin Yi, with Patriarch Xuanzhen's personality, he would most likely vent his anger on Lin Yi. Although he couldn't do anything to Lin Yi because of Boss Bai, it was still possible that he would secretly do something bad. What's wrong? Did something really happen? Patriarch Xianzhen raised his eyebrows and asked. After I finished the preliminary preparations, I was about to accept the inheritance, but the 5 evils dragon came back. Tian Shan hesitated for a moment and said. What? After you finished the preparations, the 5 evils dragon came back? Patriarch Xianzhen was slightly stunned. He frowned and said, that shouldn't be. Logically speaking, with so many earth rank and above cultivators entering the 5 evils savage land at once, the 5 evils dragon would definitely be alarmed, and he would be lured out of the cave. He would then make some arrangements for all the spirit beasts in the 5 evils savage land and give orders to fight against these earth rank cultivators together. How could the 5 evils dragon return so quickly? It turned out that this time, the change in the rules of the Heavenly Elixir sex trial was caused by Patriarch Xianxian of the Five Element sect. Everything was to allow Tian Shan to smoothly accept the inheritance. The Five Evils Savage Land was the territory of the spirit beasts. If human cultivators entered, they would naturally be regarded as enemies. However, after thousands of years of testing by the Heavenly Elixir sect, they discovered that cultivators below the earth rank were the limit that the spirit beasts could accept. Although it was dangerous for cultivators of the yellow rank and the profound rank to enter the Five Evils Savage Land to take the trial elixir, it was only because they accidentally encountered the spirit beasts. They would not let the spirit beasts chase and attack them. In other words, the spirit beasts in the Five Evils Savage Land looked down on cultivators of this level. Although they did not welcome their arrival, they would not mobilize a large force to chase and kill them. However, once the cultivators who entered the Five Evils Savage Land were above the earth rank, then these cultivators would be regarded as invaders. The Five Evils Dragon would then be lured out to give orders to all the spirit beasts in the Five Evils Savage Land to kill these cultivators together to protect their territory from the invasion of human cultivators. This time, in order to lure the Five Evils Dragon out of the cave to give orders, Patriarch Xianxian did not hesitate to sacrifice the lives of so many cultivators above the earth rank. It was enough to show that he was a cruel and merciless person. It was not an exaggeration to have a vicious daughter like Little 11. Even his daughter was not as vicious as him. Chapter 28:48. After the sound-type flying spirit beast flew into the sky, it released sound waves to transmit the command of the Dragon of Five Evils. When other sound-type flying spirit beasts heard it, they would also spread out at the same time. Therefore, it did not take long for all the spirit beasts in the entire savage land of Five Evils to receive the command of the Dragon of Five Evils and began to chase after cultivators. This was also the reason why cultivators were lying dead in the wilderness. Of course, spiritual beasts also had spiritual intelligence. In order to intimidate human cultivators, the Dragon of Five Evils would kill cultivators on a regular basis. Every day, it would only kill 2 cultivators above earth rank as a warning. Every time a spirit beast killed a cultivator above the earth stage, the nearby flying spirit beasts that were good at transmitting sound waves would fly into the sky and spread the news with sound waves. After the 2 cultivators were killed, all the spirit beasts stopped killing cultivators above the earth stage. Instead, they started to chase and threaten them. At 2:00 every night, they would all go to bed together. Gu Xian did not understand the language of the spirit beasts, so he did not discover this pattern. However, he discovered the pattern of the spirit beasts' rest after that. In fact, this pattern was also the result of many years of exploration by the Heavenly Elixir sect. This was also the reason why the number of people was estimated in the beginning. I'm not sure either. When I was ready to accept the inheritance of the origin energy, the Dragon of Five Evils suddenly returned. Then, I exchanged a few blows with it, and the inheritance began. Tian Chan said, after that, I was in a very mysterious state, and the Dragon of Five Evils was the same. The 2 of us were in harmony, and we did not attack each other again. In that case, the Dragon of Five Evils must have swallowed the origin energy. If the human cultivators did not successfully accept the inheritance of the origin energy, then the Dragon of Five Evils would definitely swallow this power. Spirit beasts are different from humans. As long as no one fights with it, it will absorb the origin energy. Patriarch Xianxian nodded his head in disappointment and said, Did the Dragon of Five Evils fall asleep after accepting the origin energy? Then, you left? This. Tian Chan was slightly stunned. Would the Dragon of Five Evils fall asleep after successfully accepting the origin energy? She wasn't sure, but it made sense that she could leave safely. Otherwise, how could she leave safely in the cave of the Five Evils Dragon? She did not want to tell Gu Shijiu about Lin Yi, which gave her an excuse. I left after that, but the Dragon of Five Evils didn't chase after me, so I'm not sure if it had fallen asleep. Forget it. None of this is important. You didn't succeed in accepting the inheritance. Patriarch Black Earth frowned. At this moment, Tian Chan was no longer as important to him. He had lost his use as a spy. The Five Devils Mountain Range's origin energy could only be activated once every 500 years. This time, Patriarch Xianchen had calculated the time accurately and used the name of the Heavenly Elixir sex trial to let Tian Chan accept the inheritance of the origin energy. After another 500 years, it was uncertain what would happen. Even if Tian Chan was an expert at the peak of the late stage of Heaven stage, it was uncertain whether she would still be alive after 500 years. If Patriarch Xianchen did not step into the Heavenly Tao in these 100 years, he might die. Therefore, Tian Chan was of no use at all. But at this moment, Ming Zi was crippled by Lin Yi and could not be used for the time being. This made Patriarch Xianchen a little crazy. The two most important chess pieces that he had cultivated could not be used. Could it be that all these years of hard work were going to be wasted? He could not accept it. In his heart, he hated Lin Yi to the core. He wanted to strangle Lin Yi, peel off Lin Yi's skin, and drink his blood. Of course, he did not know that it was Lin Yi who had stolen Tian Chan's origin energy inheritance. If he knew, he would probably be so angry that he would directly attack the Five Evils Savage Land. But even so, he secretly decided in his heart to kill Lin Yi. After Boss Bai lost his use, he would kill both of them together. Tian Chan, you don't have to be too sad. Things like origin energy inheritance are originally up to fate. We can't do anything about it. You don't have to be too sad. Patriarch Xianchen looked at Tian Chan's disappointed expression and comforted her. In her heart, Tian Chan did not know whether she should be happy or sad. She was happy that she did not need to be used as a chess piece to be sacrificed. After that plan failed, she did not need to pretend to be a heavenly silkworm transformation anymore. She did not need to use the excuse of marrying a concubine. She could restore her identity as Tian Chan. In the past, Tian Chan did not care much about whether she was a man or a woman. Whether it was a man or a woman, she was the young master of the Heavenly Elixir sect. As long as she could develop the Heavenly Elixir sect, it was fine. But now, she hoped that she was a girl. This psychological change changed overnight. After returning from the Heavenly Elixir sex trial, Tian Chan's thought became stronger and stronger. Of course, reason told her that now was not the time. Even if she did not accept the inheritance, it would not work. As long as Tag Anlong was not dead, there was still hope. She had to maintain the lie that she was a heavenly silkworm transformation man. She also had to maintain the lie that she was a pervert who wanted to marry a concubine. The sad thing was that Tian Chan did not know where her future was. Even if she restored her identity as Tian Chan, so what? If that plan failed, the Heavenly Elixir sect would still be a subsidiary of the Five Elements sect. Even if Patriarch Xianchen died, his disciple would still inherit his will and work hard for that goal. The Heavenly Elixir sect would still fully support her, and I'm sorry, but I will continue to practice alchemy. Tian Chan sighed and said. After so many years, it seems that practicing alchemy won't work. You have the inheritance of the origin, and it is different from the inheritor's comprehension inheritance. There is a fundamental difference between the two. You cannot obtain the inheritance of the origin of the wood element from the herbs, and comprehension inheritance has no effect on you. Patriarch Xianchen waved his hand. In your body, there are 4 true elements that form a cycle. The only thing you lack is the wood element. I used the Wanyan Spring Elixir to make up for the wood element, and I used the Bone Washing Elixir to purify the wood element. Even so, you still haven't accepted the wood element inheritance of the 5 evils origin. It seems that it is fate. Among the 5 elements and 7 elements, 6 of them had the source of inheritance. Only the wood element did not. The legendary Wanyan Spring Forest was gone, and even the Wanyan Spring Wood was extinct. So, if one wanted to become the inheritor of the wood element, they had to start with another alternative method. This was the result of Patriarch Zhang's years of research. Coming into contact with herbs every day, it was possible to comprehend the wood element inheritance. Chapter 2849. This was like an epiphany. After the epiphany, there would no longer be a barrier to leveling up. As for the origin energy, it was received from the source of the origin energy. This could not be obtained from herbs. It seems like we can only find another cultivator with all 5 attributes. Or, we can create another cultivator with all 5 attributes. Patriarch Xian Zhen was also a little disappointed. Although he felt that it was very dangerous for Tian Shan to do that and he did not want his disciple to take the risk, he still chose to agree for the sake of the sect's grand plan. Now, Tian Shan could not continue to be the most important part of the plan. He felt a little melancholy. After all, she was the hope of the sect. How hard is it to find a cultivator with all 5 attributes? It took a lot of effort to find Tag and Dragon, and it is not easy to create another cultivator with all 5 attributes. Patriarch Xianchen said. Unless we find a cultivator with all 3 attributes of wood, metal, and earth. Patriarch Xianzhen was a little silent after hearing Patriarch Xuanchen's words. Yes, how difficult was it to find a cultivator with all 3 attributes? After Tian Shan opened the inheritance of the 5 evils origin energy, there was no place to receive the inheritance of the origin energy for the time being. Therefore, one had to have the true attribute of wood. There was no way to create a virtual attribute for the metal and earth attributes through elixirs. Although there were elixir recipes for the 2 types of elixirs that could change one's physique, some of the ingredients were extinct and could not be refined at all. Therefore, one had to also have the metal and earth attributes. As for the other water and fire attributes, one could create virtual attributes and then go to the source of these 2 attributes to receive the inheritance. The elixir materials for the water attribute had also been lost, but they could be replaced by the Ice Heart Jade Bone Elixir. They could go to the Ice Palace to receive the inheritance of the Ice Origin Energy in place of the water attribute. As for the fire attribute, they needed to go to the Blazing Mountain in the Hakanamada Desert to receive the inheritance of the Origin Energy. However, although triple elemental cultivators were not as rare as quadruple elemental and quintuple elemental cultivators, there were very few cultivators with these 3 elemental attributes. Patriarch Xianchen had yet to discover them. Otherwise, Tian Shan would not be the only spy. Given Patriarch Xuanchen's character, he would definitely create a few more spies to be used at any time. Mystic True Patriarch sighed and said, "Sigh, I'd better research how to cure the Tag and Dragon. Yes, I'll have to trouble second senior brother with this matter." Patriarch Xianchen said hurriedly. Xianzhen ancestor waved his hand and said, "However, you should also pay attention to the cultivators of these 3 elements. Otherwise, this plan will be difficult to carry out." Of course, the elder nodded and looked at Tian Shan. "Right, where's Zhang Naipeo?" "He has successfully passed the trial and is out, right?" "Not yet." Tian Shan shook her head. "I wanted to report this to Master and Uncle as well. I followed Master's orders and reverted to my silkworm form, waiting for Zhang Naipeo here, but he still hasn't come out." "What? Zhang Naipeo still hasn't come out?" The elder was shocked. Although he had been suppressing the everyday sect all these years, he didn't want them to grow too big. The 5 Elements sect wanted to stabilize their position as the leader of the training world, not to kill them all. Zhang Naipeo was the most important part of the plan, and this was also why the elder asked Tian Shan to instruct Kang Mingming to take care of Zhang Naipeo. No one wanted anything to happen to Zhang Naipeo. Although Zhang Naipeo could be replaced in other ways, without him, the danger of the inheritor would increase greatly, so it was best for Zhang Naipeo to be safe. "Yes, Elder 8 Kang Mingming just reported to me the list of cultivators who passed the trial." Tian Shan shook her head. "It's been 18 days. I hope nothing goes wrong." The elder sighed and said, "Tian Shan, if there's news of Zhang Naipeo, let us know at any time. Yes, uncle. Tian Chan said carefully. The two elders didn't stay for long and went to rest somewhere else. Tian Chan, on the other hand, was waiting anxiously for Kong Mingming's news. 5 Fiends Mountain Range. Skybolt Pig waited for 15 days, and on the 18th day, there was still no one coming. He started to panic. The 5 Fiends dragon didn't bother with Pig, but the pig was still restless. Finally, he couldn't take it anymore and decided to go down the mountain. These days, he had seen the 5 Fiends dragon giving orders to the spirit beasts in the 5 Fiends barrens. This gave him a good idea. If he could find a golden-class flying spirit beast, he could order it to save Lin Yi as a mystic late-phase peak spirit beast. Wouldn't that work? And so, once the pig made up his mind, he didn't waste any time and came to the bottom of the 5 Fiends mountain range. Finally, after running for half a day, he found a flying-type yellow-class spirit beast. He quickly called out to it, Gigi. Goo goo. The flying spirit beast said. Gigi. Skybolt Pig said. Goo goo. The flying spirit beast said. Gigi. The Sky Thunder Pig was a little disappointed. The 5 Demons Dragon was a spirit beast at the peak of the late stage of heaven rank. It was very close to the Heavenly Tao. Unless he was a Heavenly Tao spirit beast, he wouldn't be able to command this flying-type spirit beast. Goo goo. The flying spirit beast said. Gigi. Skybolt Pig was helpless. It seemed like his thinking was too simple. The spirit beasts here were all following the orders of the 5 Fiends dragon. They wouldn't listen to him at all. He could only go to a safe place and discuss with Zhao Qikuan and the others. He wanted to see if there was a way to save Lin Yi. Lin Yi hadn't come back after so many days, and Skybolt Pig was very worried. Chapter 2850. The pig had no choice but to return to the 5 Fiends Mountains. Chi-Chi was getting weaker and weaker these days, her face pale and pale. Other than when she ate, she spent most of her time lying on the ground. Lin Yi saw this and panicked, but there was nothing he could do. Today was the 20th day. If they couldn't leave by then, Chi-Chi. Lin Yi didn't even dare think about it. Chi-Chi, what do you think? Are you hungry? Lin Yi had been chatting with Chi-Chi since early in the morning, but it was Lin Yi who talked the most and Chi-Chi who didn't respond at all. She was simply too weak right now, and didn't have the strength to talk anymore. Hungry? I think so. But I don't want to eat grilled fish anymore, it's too dry. I want to eat something else. Chi-Chi said weakly. You don't want to eat. But there's only grilled fish here. Truth be told, Lin Yi was getting sick of the food he'd been eating for the past couple of days. He didn't eat much, but he was a spiritual practitioner and had the jade to replenish his energy. Chi-Chi, on the other hand, couldn't rely on Chi to replenish her energy. She could only rely on food. Then I won't eat anymore. Chi-Chi closed her eyes with that. Alright, I'll go look into other ways to keep the water in the fish. Lin Yi said after some thought. Thank you. Chi-Chi was very touched. Lin Yi's meticulous care these days. Chi-Chi's impression of Lin Yi had increased quite a bit. It wasn't the romantic type, but she saw Lin Yi as her closest friend. It's fine. Lin Yi got up and went fishing, thinking about how to keep the water in the fish. There was no pot here, and there wasn't a hole for a pot. Even Tian Chan wouldn't be able to make a hole in the hard ground like this, let alone Lin Yi. And so, Lin Yi automatically eliminated the idea of cooking the fish. He had to think of other ways. Suddenly, Lin Yi's eyes stopped at the lake not far away. The soil around the lake was soil, but it was close to the lakeside. Lin Yi couldn't dig a hole here, and he couldn't use his refinement fire to heat up the entire lake. But he remembered an island survival training he'd received when he was young. He'd used soil to wrap an entire fish, roasted it with fire, and then peeled the soil away to reveal that the fish was fresh and tender. It wasn't burnt at all, and all the moisture was retained. This was the inspiration Lin Yi got from the beggar's chicken. Back on the island, Lin Yi made this type of fish, and Lin Yi decided to go back to making it for Chi-Chi. After catching the fish, Lin Yi cleaned it up by the lakeside and dug out some mud from the lake, wrapping the fish in it before roasting it. Half an hour later, Lin Yi came back to the place he was resting with Chi-Chi with a pile of mud. Chi-Chi, get up and eat. Lin Yi put the mud balls on the ground. What's this? What's this? Chi-Chi looked at the mud balls Lin Yi had thrown on the ground. She didn't know what was edible about them. This is called mud fish. You break the hard shell, and the inside is exposed to the fresh meat. You can eat it. The result of grilling it this way is that the water won't dry out. Lin Yi said, "You don't want to eat grilled fish anymore, right?" Chi-Chi's eyes went wide with disbelief. She stared at the ball of mud on the ground, lost in thought, not saying a word for a while. What's wrong? You've never seen it before? It's actually very tasty. Let me show you. Lin Yi thought that Chi-Chi didn't want to eat it. He picked up a mud ball and broke it, revealing the tender flesh inside. It was delicious, and all the water had been preserved. Here. Lin Yi gave it to Chi-Chi. Yeah. Chi-Chi felt like she was back in her childhood. Back then, her father had given them an island survival test, throwing her and the rest of the team into different locations on different islands. Chi-Chi was very lucky, being thrown onto the same island as her brother Ai. Of course, she didn't know if it was her father's doing or not. There was no food or water on the island, much better than this valley. However, Ai's brother had used plastic bags to collect the dew on the leaves as drinking water, catching fish in the sea and roasting it for her. After eating it for many days, Chi-Chi didn't really like roasted fish anymore. She told Ai that she wanted a change, and Ai's brother racked his brains and made her a roasted fish wrapped in mud, fresh and juicy. It was a memory that was fresh in Chi-Chi's mind. What she remembered wasn't just the taste of the roasted fish, but the beautiful memories of Ai's brother's love and care for her. Chi-Chi's heart had already fallen in love with him back then. Now, at the bottom of the cliff, Chi-Chi was once again looking at this delicacy from her memories. She couldn't help but feel emotional. The people who made it were different, but they were all so caring and protective of her. Young Chi-Chi took a bite of the fish. The taste brought tears to her eyes. It was exactly the same as the one in her memories. In her haze, young Chi-Chi felt like she was back in her childhood, back on that deserted island. Her tears flowed down her cheeks, landing on the fish, but she didn't care as she carefully ate the fish. This fish wasn't just a delicacy, it was a form of longing and attachment. Chi-Chi's crying gave Lin Yi quite the fright. Even if the mud fish wasn't good, it shouldn't be so bad that she was crying, right? Lin Yi scratched his head, not knowing what to do. Didn't young Xiao Xiao say that it was delicious when they were kids? Could it be that his skills had deteriorated after all these years? The 5 energies had invaded Chi-Chi's body, making her so weak that she was about to faint, but at this moment, she was very happy. What surprised Lin Yi even more was the fact that this roasted fish wasn't delicious. Why was Chi-Chi eating it so fast? Was it delicious? Then why was she crying? Was she afraid that the 5 energies would invade her body and kill her? Thinking about it, Lin Yi felt that this was most likely the case. He quickly comforted her. Chi-Chi, don't cry. I'm here, we'll be fine. You won't die, don't worry. If you really did die, I wouldn't be able to explain it to Master. You're tuning in to the Romantic Tales YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.